Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
Chris, man.
Jesus. I'm Bobby Trippett.
I'm Michael Tanner.
And today we're talking about 1984's The Ice Pirates.
Castrated, lobotomized, it's a due process.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
What is it, knocker? I don't know.
Spooky got no real rhythm.
Hello,
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
How the hell would women live? I'm horny. And maybe Daddy would have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
For jacking off.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get green.
Now I said it's The Ice Pirates. I've always known this movie as Ice Pirates, but they make it very clear it's The Ice Pirates.
I've only ever called it Ice Pirates.
Yeah, so have I, but
I've always known it as Ice Pirates. I hadn't seen it, but that's what I always assumed it was called.
I accidentally
Fucking
watched Ass Pirates.
put that Yeah, Chris, you watched the wrong
Yarr.
movie again, man?
No.
It was another Bateman situation.
Well, Bateman,
Similar
This one
plot
also
stuff.
had Jason Bateman in it.
Bateman can do things you cannot even imagine.
But in the future, the only thing that has value is ass. So it's the same plot.
This is like Waterworld.
Wow.
What? Ass Pirates?
Yeah, no, it
Man,
makes perfect sense.
I'm intrigued by this future. I'd like to.
Yeah. So, guys, Grindbin All-Star. That's who's brought this episode to us. Grindbin All-Star on the Patreon. Greg, this is his pick. GWC on the Patreon. The Ice Pirates, one of his two picks he wants us to cover. So thank you, Greg, for your patronage.
Awesome.
And thank you for Ice Pirates. I think a lot of people on this show are very excited about this movie.
Yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
excited to talk about this one.
I
Thank you,
wouldn't
Greg.
say a traditional Grindbin movie.
Definitely.
In terms of like what we typically cover, but at the same time, we do whatever the fuck we want. And if you're a Patreon, you can say whatever movie you want us to cover. So
Now, I would make the argument that this is kind of in the wheelhouse because this is the last great Star Wars ripoff. Like, if you guys did Star Crash, and it's kind of in that same world
yes,
Yeah.
of exploiting a popular franchise. This was kind of the last of them because this is post Return of the Jedi.
Because what is an exploitation film?
Yeah.
Yes.
Capitalizing on a trend to make
So
money.
it doesn't feel like it, but I think it's close enough to the
I mean,
Yeah.
this feels shared universe with Barbarella. And I don't think any of you would argue that Barbarella doesn't fit our theme.
that's true. Yeah, Well, I
Barbarella is
think-
happening like on the other side of the galaxy.
This is Star Wars, Barbarella, and Mad Max.
Yeah.
All in
Yeah.
one.
And so, well,
And
and
Pirates of
throwing a little
Penzance.
King Arthur.
This reminded me of that movie Doomsday we saw a long time ago.
Yeah, you know what
Yeah.
it is? It's like Doomsday in space.
If Doomsday was covering all the space stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
here's the
Doomsday
thing.
2.
Is that when I first
Which I would
saw
love.
Yeah.
this movie, I was like, it's rated PG. You know, this is the first time I've ever seen this movie. I've never watched it, but I know it's beloved by many. And it's a more popular movie, and that's why I say it's not traditional Grindbin fare, I guess, because we usually cover more obscure movies. And this one's in the pop
Like when we
culture
covered
for
Demon
sure.
Cop, which I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think a single one of our listeners have seen.
Well, you know, if you want to see Rocco's asshole, watch Demon Cop. It's great. I mean, we all admit that was a great shot in the movie, so.
Oh, definitely the highlight.
Yeah.
Okay, now when you guys,
Good point, Tanner.
I have never been on an episode with the smash cut to a fat man's asshole.
Yeah.
So when you guys always talk about the smash cut to a fat man's asshole or any man's asshole, do you literally
Man, make
see
a button.
asshole or is it just a close up on the butt? I'm always very confused.
Well, if I remember correctly, in Demon Cop, he did bend over in front of the camera, and
Yeah.
he was brown-eyed down the lens.
There are- so
there's
he was
brown
breaking
eye.
the fourth wall.
There are
Tanner.
definitely levels of dilation, depending on the film we're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Now I have a clearer.
Did he have-
Sometimes
Yeah.
we're at the asshole, sometimes we're up in the asshole.
Yeah,
It depends
but luckily-
on how brave the cameraman was.
Ice Pirates, no assholes on screen, other than the cast. So, but no literal assholes. So, which is nice.
It's a little change from what we're used to.
But this is a real movie. It was made by MGM, and it was supposed to have a budget of $20 million.
And I
it
gotta
was
tell
supposed
ya,
to be a serious sci-fi movie.
Originally, right.
Yeah.
It was weird to see a major studio logo before a movie for the Grindbin.
Yeah.
Well,
Not to say our beloved Mr. Crown doesn't head a major studio. But
I mean, that was we
well-
saw one before Chatterbox was a major studio back in
Any
that, too.
canon films were released by MGM, so that is also there. We've had quite a few MGMs on here.
MGM's got a lot of stuff under its umbrella.
MGM also
Orion, I
owns-
believe, is an MGM.
Yeah, MGM
subdivision.
also owns a bunch of those old Philippines movies like Black Mama, White Mama,
Wonderful.
and all those are MGM now. They bought the collection, I guess. So, but
Public
this
storage. Where
yeah,
all those originals
and they're like,
were
yeah,
kept.
well, fucking put it on DVD. Who cares? So the reason that this, I believe, had a $20 million budget, and the reason it didn't get it is because I think this has something to do with it. Is that Kevin Costner was rumored to be in this movie, and then he said, "Fuck no." And they're like, well, shit, we're cutting the budget to $8 million,
Yeah,
and we're
but
making it.
Kevin Costner wasn't anybody at that point, so
In what year was this?
84.
84.
What's amazing is that he'd said, he was above this, and
Yeah.
then he did Waterworld.
Yeah, it was just basically the same thing.
Yeah, it was like, but I will piss in a coffee maker.
So they cut the budget to $8 million, and they said, fuck it, make it a comedy.
Fair.
I think we can tell where that happened by the writer of this movie and everything, because I have all the background, and I'm pretty sure I have a good idea of what went wrong, and why this movie is of certain quality. Let's say that, and Tanner knows why too, because he was texting me today about the background of this movie and the director, and can't wait to get into that. So, this movie did gross $14 million at the box office, so they made their money back, and it was also in every Best Buy for fucking 10 years on DVD. Every week you'd go in, you'd see Ice Pirates, you go, am I supposed to know this, or?
You're like,
I
$9,
may have
$5,
bought
do I want it?
and accidentally thrown it out.
So you bought it again?
I feel
Don't
like,
worry.
Yeah, I feel like I've owned it. But
Don't
only
worry,
ever
Tanner.
watched it again. When
Just
it was
go
on
back
Netflix.
to Best Buy. They got another. That it's been sitting on the $5 wall since
No,
2002.
fuck
It's the
that.
same
Hold out.
copy.
Hold out for the 4K release. I'm sure it's coming.
I literally just ordered the Blu-ray.
I paid for the high def YouTube rental.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
$4.
You
Oh.
pay YouTube for videos. That's
I watch Amazon, also $2.99 or whatever it was. Yeah.
Okay.
So this movie is easily accessible.
Yes.
It has a cult following. According to the crew member, here's an interesting one. Apparently, they fired the entire sound crew mid-production.
with no reason given.
Yeah, apparently.
Just
well,
everyone-
that's what they say.
Well,
you
yeah.
know.
You know how dramatic
like, you know-
people tend to be. It's just like, fire me for no reason,
Yeah, well, I
man.
think
My
the pro-
boss hated me for some.
Yeah, I think the producer's going over and he goes, look, guy, I've told you about it 50 times. You can't use the boom pole as a fake dick, okay? Every goddamn day, and you're making Angelica Houston uncomfortable, okay? So if you could just fucking hold it over your head and stop doing the dick boom, we'd be better off. And he didn't stop. And so they're like, all right, you're all fired. I'm like, for nothing, man. And so the only other thing I have about this is that Gene Roddenberry, creator of Star Trek, once was quoted as saying that Ice Pirates was, quote, singularly responsible for bringing back the death penalty to California. Big fan.
Oh, got him.
Am I with Gene on this movie, or am I with Bobby and Tanner? We'll see. We'll see. I don't know
Won't be in
man's
with
feelings
Tanner.
about this.
I don't know.
So the crew, Stuart Raffil, I think that's how you pronounce it. Like
Surely
Bobby
not.
would say, nailed it.
Nailed it.
Director and writer, one of the writers of this movie, 24 directing credits. Now, do you know anything about him? Oh,
No.
fucking strap in, boys.
All right.
Strap
This is a
in.
good one.
the
Strap on.
Fuck in.
Mount that boom mic.
1981, a movie called High Risk, which Tanner sent to me today. Possible Grindbin movie.
I think it sounds like an awesome.
Hell
Grindbin movie.
yeah. Check out the poster for it and the background. You're going to like it.
All right.
1984, he directed the Philadelphia Experiment in the
Oh,
same
sweet.
year as this.
That is a hell of a 1-2 punch.
Oh my God.
Guys, then it all went wrong.
Oh god!
Okay.
Like if this
before-
was
before we
if
go
this
to
was
it,
behind
it
the
all went
music,
wrong.
this is the part where they go.
He
It got to
also
the point
did-
where
And then goes some black and white, and they show like the reenactment of like the drug overdose and the hookers and the
Oh, yeah,
sunglasses.
get ready.
and-
Get ready.
He also
Tanner.
directed another movie from my childhood, which was Adventures of the Wilderness Family, which played nonstop on HBO or Showtime. It's about a family who like leaves the city and goes and lives in the woods. That movie played every goddamn day, so I've seen that movie billions of times.
And you loved it.
I loved it. Loved it. There's probably a bear. They get chased by a bear at some point. Probably. I don't know. I've seen it. I don't remember it.
So
Much like this
Tanner,
movie.
it all
like
went
John
dark.
Lithgow's throwing cheeseburgers to it.
It's funny you say cheeseburgers.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Because in 1988, he was like, you know what I'd love to do is combine my two favorite things, cheeseburgers and movies. McDonald's, how would you feel about making a movie? and they said, "Boy, we're going to hire you, sir, to write and direct our first feature film, Mac and Me."
Oh, no.
That's right. The director of Ice Pirates made Mac and Me. He wrote and directed it.
Oh, man.
Bobby pushed that wheelchair off the cliff.
That's a finest hour right there.
Then he went on to direct Mannequin 2.
Okay.
Please wait. The official name is Mannequin on the Move.
Yeah,
Right.
Mannequin on the Move.
You
Mannequin
had my
colon.
attention, and now you have my interest.
Okay, gets better. 1994, he wrote and directed a movie which stars Denise Richards and Paul Walker, and it's called Tammy and the T-Rex.
Oh, man.
Have you ever seen the trailer for this movie?
Yes, I have.
Oh, it's fucking brilliant. This is a potential future Grindbin movie. Oh my God. Just look up Tammy the T-Rex and you'll see. You'll see. I guess is it Paul Walker turns into a T-Rex in that movie? Or
I believe, his brain is put into the body of a mechanical T-Rex. So he's not just a T-Rex, he's a robo T-Rex.
Animatronic T-Rex.
Yeah.
And mad scientist is Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were saying. It's
Hell yeah.
This is around the same time he was getting killed by Jason.
It's a strong recommend. 1998, this is the last thing I have, is he wrote and directed the new Swiss Family Robinson, which we didn't need a new one, but he did it anyways. So,
He also wrote Passenger 57,
yes,
correct?
he has the story credit on Passenger
Oh, man.
57, the
Always
Wesley
bet on
Snipes
black.
classic.
He's the one who taught us that.
The last movie he directed was in 2010. That's all I got. I think
And what was
he's
that?
done. I don't fucking know.
Okay, cool.
It was a short film.
Yeah, it was. Once I think Mac and Me, that was it. Well, they did let him go for Mannequin: on the Move.
Mannequin : on the move.
Yeah,
Accurate.
Yeah.
which is beloved by all Mannequin
I don't
fans.
feel there were enough films with Hollywood Montrose in them.
Fair enough.
Hollywood.
Do you think he's in Tammy and the T-Rex?
There's a shared universe. Mannequin shared universe.
Yeah. Other writer for this movie, who I assume wrote the original script and it was changed by the director of Mac and Me, is Stanford Sherman. He wrote for Man from U.N.C.L.E. and the original Batman show in the 60s.
Cool.
He wrote Any Which Way You Can, 1980. Eastwood Chimp movie. Hey-o! We were trying to figure out what the Eastwood Chimp movie was. It's Any Which Way You Can.
And then Any Which Way But Loose. I believe is the
I
sequel.
always got those
It's an
mixed.
orangutan,
I didn't
not a
realize
chimp.
that those
Okay,
were...
it's
get it right,
orangutan.
Mike.
Straight.
Orangutan.
All right.
The Eastwood
We're gonna get letters.
primate movie.
They're going to be
But-
from me, but you're going to get letters.
The Any Which Way You Can.
Anonymous letters.
If you look at the IMDb for it, the still from the trailer is Eastwood sitting at his kitchen table with his arm around the
around a chimp.
orangutan. I fucking love it. I was like, I think I'm gonna watch this movie. Not even for the bin, just for fun, for pleasure.
Now, I have a theory that there's a third writer on this.
Oh well, hold on. Let me get these
Fred
other
Olin
credits.
Ray.
Do the other.
Yeah, Fred Onion Roy. is Bobby.
Onion Roy.
Roy.
Nice guy.
1983, he wrote the movie Krull. I don't know if anybody's seen that one.
Oh, God.
And you have.
Really?
Let's not talk about it.
Oh, and then 1983, same year, he wrote The Man Who Wasn't There. Which,
Interesting.
Yeah.
The Billy Bob Thornton movie.
No, that's 1983's The Man Who Wasn't There, which I didn't even know there was another movie called that. And I'm wondering if it...
Unrelated?
I don't know. And this was his last credit. He's like, oh, fuck it all. And that was it.
Huh.
Ice Pirates did him in.
Yet another time that a Grindbin movie has been someone's last piece of art.
Halted
Yeah.
the momentum.
On your Grindbin bingo, you can go ahead. Again, there's no asshole, but that's automatically the free square.
Yeah.
Okay. But go ahead and mark person's last movie. So we're going to make an official Grindbin bingo card at some point.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
And you can play along for every episode. So, Tanner, who do you think is the third secret writer of this movie?
I'm going to go
R.L.
with-
Stein.
Do not fucking say who I think you're going to say. God damn it.
It's going to be because it's the only thing that makes sense for when they decided, like, let's cut the budget, make it a comedy.
Oh.
Because there is a guy in this movie who is not usually in the movies. He's usually the
He's
guy who
so-
script
Oh,
I know who
doctors
you mean.
movies.
Fucking bad.
May I say his name aloud and not curse us all?
Well, you're going to
Actually,
anyways.
I think in this case, saying his name will banish him back to where he came from.
Okay.
Please, for God's
Bruce
sake.
Vilanch is in this movie.
Christ.
Bruce Vilanch, the hack comedy writer.
Yeah.
I think that's why this movie is a hack comedy
Yeah.
at certain points.
Yeah.
Is I think he was brought on, wrote that character, and they're like, well, let's have Bruce just play that character.
What's
know
funny
what?
is when his
Yeah, that's what Bruce said to himself.
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
just have Bruce play that character.
I wrote this character. He might be really hard to for someone to play. Maybe I'll just play him. I'm just throwing it
It's
out.
funny. I remember even as a child when like my dad was watching, was it Comic Relief? And then when Bruce, I'd be watching like Bob Saget do a set. It's really funny. And then Bruce Vilanch walk out, and I'd be a kid of a single digit age, and I'd still be like, "Who is this asshole?"
You're like, he goes, that's the relief, son.
Yeah,
Like, who's this fucking Muppet-looking guy?
seriously.
When he showed up in this movie, I just yelled, "Fuck this!"
What's
I was
funny-
like, "God damn it!" There's 20 minutes left in this movie, and fucking Bruce Vilanch shows up. Are you
shitting me?
And then they carry around his severed head, so he even has to do less
spoilers,
work. I was so
when
fucking
his
mad.
name comes up in the credits, it looks like it's on a video screen that one of the characters is staring at, and so it looks like the character in the movie is going, "Oh God damn it,
It's
Bruce
like,
fucking Vilanch
he
is coming
just
later."
puts himself in this fucking movie, and at the end, he's like, "See me in Ice Pirates? I was the real hero."
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's
Made
great.
that shit.
Fucking Bruce. So the other cast is Robert Ulrich, who plays Jason, or as I write, not Han, because that's who he is. He's just not
He's
Han.
a non-solo.
Yeah, non-solo. I just wrote not Han as every note of him. But I like non-solo.
Thank you.
Known for starring in the TV show Vegas from 1978 to 1981. He has 90 credits, lots of TV and TV movies, including 1985's Turk 182 with an exclamation point at the end, which I liked. And then 1989 Dragon Fight, which stars Jet Li and Stephen Chow.
Wow,
Oh.
in '89.
So that's a movie about two Chinese guys that come to America to fight in a contest.
I'll take it from here. They're in a parade and they're operating one of those dragons, and they start fighting underneath it because they're having an issue and they need to work it out.
Well, okay, so
It's mostly just a big parade dragon just going boom, 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 boom.
I feel like I just want to move on, but I should tell you how it is, because it is actually weird and interesting. It's like two Chinese guys come to America to be in a kung fu contest, and then one of them decides to defect, and they're like, and it causes issues. I'm like, why? One guy's just staying home. Like, he's like, no, it's my new home now. Bye. Like, what's the deal?
He's Chinese.
Yeah, he's like, I like it here better.
Yeah, and the Chinese hate that.
She's like,
They're like,
what?
no, you gotta come back.
All right, go home. Bye.
It's a short movie.
We're gonna make a whole movie about it, I guess. Do they fight each other? Like, is there multiple fights? He's like, "You're coming back to China," and he's like, "No."
I also like to imagine that Bob Urich is the what's this guy, Perry Mason in the original Godzilla. Who's that actor? Raymond Burr.
Raymond
Where
Burr.
he films bookends and interstitial scenes of the kung fu fights.
You know what's funny? Raymond Burr in that original Godzilla movie is playing a character named Steve Martin. I want Steve Martin in Godzilla 2 to play a character named Raymond Burr.
That's too
Yes.
good. They'll never do it.
It will never happen. Yeah, go to Steve Martin's house right now and be like, "Do you want to be in the next Godzilla movie?" And see how quickly he calls the cops.
So Mary Crosby, who plays Princess Karina, lots of TV. She was on Dallas for a while. 1983, she's in a movie called Last Plane Out, which stars our boy. Mm-hmm. Man, he never gets it up. Never. Jane Michael Vincent.
Oh God.
I love me a good Michael Vincent movie where he just kind of just goes, yeah, what am I supposed to say? Yeah, fuck it. Give me a gun, I'll shoot something.
That one movie where
Yeah.
he's just like, "I don't give a shit." Whatever.
That's what his whole career is.
Yeah.
If you just talk to him about anything, he goes, yeah, that one movie. Yeah.
He's a real peach. That
Built
guy.
this house. It's great. She was in 1988's Tapeheads, which I'm assuming maybe you've seen, Tanner.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I mentioned it earlier. And
Yeah.
you
I
do
guys had
remember,
seen
like,
Yeah,
it.
I
I don't
think
know
you
this one.
mentioned
Is this a
that.
Coneheads knockoff?
It's such a
No,
like
I'm
you
shocked
Lower
that
budget,
you
so they just
haven't
wrap
seen
tape around their heads.
But here's the thing about Tapeheads. It seems like it's going to be great.
Oh, but it's not.
It fucking sucks.
It seems
Really?
like it's gonna be fine.
Tim Robbins, John Cusack, they play security guards, and they're like, what is it? They're like big
They want to
into-
start like a music video company.
yeah.
But I guess the only like saving grace of that movie is if you're like an old Los Angeles 80s fan, is that they do a great commercial for Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles
Yes.
in the
yeah.
in the movie. But yeah, it's like
When I first found it,
I
I'm
have
like,
not literally seen that movie in 20 years, but
it sucks.
Yeah.
I remember finding it like in a Blockbuster bargain bin, and I'm like, how come I never heard of this? I brought home the DVD, and I'm like, well, now I know. Fucking sucks.
yeah, it would have been one of those movies that they both did probably as a favor. Like,
yeah. It's like one of those dark comedies without the comedy. So it's
Oh,
just,
really?
yeah.
My favorite kind.
Yeah. So The other one I have, you're going to like this. Quicker Than the Eye, 1988. Tanner, you might know this one because it's about magic. You're a magic family and a dwarf family.
Magical dwarfs.
Get this. Ben Gazzara, 1988's Ben Gazzara, plays a magician who's hired to entertain world leaders at a peace summit. Unfortunately, he finds himself hopelessly entangled in an elaborate terrorist assassination plot. Ben Gazzara is
When
the
was this movie made?
1988.
It's got a hell of
When
a
he
poster.
was in full,
I know, right?
I'm a villain.
I posted it on the Grindbin Facebook, by the way. You can see the poster.
Magic, mystery, and murder collide in this international thriller.
Ben Gazzara, who always plays the villain in a
Yeah.
movie, like 80-year-old Ben Gazzara, play like an old magician. And I guess he's in some sort of assassination plot.
I want to see this
Yeah, the
so
poster
bad.
makes it like a James Bond
Yeah.
movie if he also can make doves fly out of his sleeves.
Yeah. But I was like, well, I'm definitely going to be watching that.
Hell yeah.
Again, for pleasure, not for Ben.
Because we get no pleasure from the bin.
Oh, no. Michael D. Roberts, who plays Roscoe in this movie, 72 credits, lots of movies and TV, including 33 episodes of Beretta. He's the character of Rooster. 1986, he was in Manhunter, the original,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, when Brian Cox played Dr. Lecter.
Yeah. Michael Mann movie.
Yeah.
It's
a cool movie.
Everybody always forgets about that one.
It's so like that movie is a film class.
What was
Like,
it,
you can dissect everything
yeah.
in that movie.
Shout
It's all
Factory
brilliant.
put out a good Blu-ray of that a little while back.
Man, see, that's crazy that it's just not more well known, that one. It has
It's
Michael
just-
Mann attached to
it's
it.
Anthony
so,
Hopkins
yeah.
came along and just like he
Yeah.
owned that character. It's like what Johnny Cash did Hurt. And it's just like, that's not a Nine Inch Nails song anymore. I'm sorry.
Basically.
Like, that Nine Inch Nails version is pretty cool and all, but like,
Yeah.
no,
They
everyone
just signed it over.
It's.
We're like,
I think
we're
even
done.
Reznor even said that now. He's like, that's his song now.
Yeah, he pretty much burned the original reel.
Yeah, and I think that's what happened when Anthony Hopkins took over. They're like, no one wants to see anybody else play Hannibal, right? People who watch that TV show forever.
1988, he was in Rain Man, and then he's in a ton of stuff. He's still acting. So,
Out there somewhere, still acting.
yep.
Dinner theater. Renaissance pleasure fair.
He's in like legit movies, Tanner. He was like, "Come on, I was Roscoe in Ice Pirates." Everybody's like, "I've seen the DVD of that."
I feel like it's more
Well,
along the
you're on the
lines
cover,
of Tanner
right?
saying, "Hey, weren't you Roscoe and Ice Pirates?" and then punching him with a beard.
Guys, you're all gonna know him, John. How do you even say it? Matuzek?
I think Matuzek.
Because
They used to call him the twos.
Bobby's over here laughing about it. Definitely most well known for his role as Sloth in The Goonies.
Yep.
He is Killjoy in this movie. He was originally a football player in the NFL for 6 years. He played with the Oakland Raiders, I guess, for the longest stint in his career. And then he competed in The World's Strongest Man in 1978, and then went into movies, 1979.
And I gotta say, you want to talk about whether or not this fits the criteria for our show? We have a NFL guy trying to star in a movie.
Like
That happens in more than half
Oh,
of the
man.
Grindhouse films.
Wasn't
has some
Rosie-
kind of football player
Yeah.
doing his
Rosie
best.
Greer? What?
Was he? Was Rosie
true.
Greer? a
Rosie Greer
football
was
player?
football,
Football
yeah.
player.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. 1981, he was in a movie called Caveman. Guys, do you know anything about this? This sounds horrific. It stars Ringo Starr, Dennis Quaid, and Shelley Long
Oh, God.
as cave people.
Oh my god!
I've never seen it, but I've seen the poster.
Again, this is one where it's like, I've never heard of this movie. I wonder what. Oh.
That's from what year?
1981.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I would
think
think
that's
that
the
as like
same-
72.
I think Ringo had like a whole acting blitz around that time because I think 81 was when Blind Man came out, which is the spaghetti western where Ringo Starr plays a Mexican named Candy.
Oh, yeah.
The
you
retelling of Zatoichi as a western.
Does he have his accent in that too? I'd like it because if he's a caveman, he's like, "Oh, I'm a caveman." You know, there's like
He's talking like Wacko Warner.
Yeah.
1986, he's in One Crazy Summer with John Cusack.
Yeah.
1989, One Man Force. Yeah. He stars in this movie, and I feel like
he
this,
is the titular one-man force.
Yes, I feel like this is definitely going to be a Grindbin movie because guess who he stars opposite? Ronnie Cox and
Yes.
Charles Napier.
Wow.
Fuck yes. When I saw that, those three names, by the way, are on the box. And I'm like, well, that fucking sells me. What else do I need?
Mike was hard as a diamond looking at that box.
I love me a Ronnie Cox movie, man. Throw in Charles Napier, you got a fucking deal.
Hold my calls, cancel my plan.
Yep.
Well, you'll agree that Ronnie Cox is one of our great character actors.
Oh,
I mean, RoboCop.
You don't have to tell me, dude. It's my favorite movie, Mike.
I know. And Ronnie Cox, man.
Yeah.
Love it. 1989, he's in a movie called Ghost Rider. Okay.
Writer?
Yeah, Writer. I'm going to read you the description.
Like
I'm pretty sure that he was on an episode of PBS's.
That's what I was wondering.
series.
Like,
No,
is
no,
he
no.
a ghost that helps
No.
kids
No,
solve
it's a-
mysteries?
It's a movie called Ghost Writer, which is about a writer who moves into a Malibu beach house and comes up against the ghost of an actress who supposedly had committed suicide 30 years previously, but had been murdered by her boyfriend.
Oh, I saw that on his IMDb, and I just assumed it was a PBS show.
No, it's a movie. It's a literal ghost writer.
All right.
And the whole time she just follows him around. She goes, "You read my book yet?" And he's like, "I'll fucking get to it."
Does he play the writer? Because that's awesome.
A ghost writer would be like, so how's that book coming, ghost? You got all the time in the world now.
Yeah.
They're like, look, shut up, okay?
I'm having trouble with the third act.
It'll come to me.
Unfortunately, he died in 1989 from heart failure, but everybody thinks it's because he had an overdose of pain medication and a lot of cocaine. So
Oh, that'll do
just
it.
the
It
old,
was the 80s.
yeah. It's like sad. So the other ones that are in
Good night,
this
everybody.
that we don't have to talk about their backgrounds is Angelica Houston.
Never heard of her.
really fucking slumming it in this movie. By the way,
Her first movie.
Is this
So,
her first
it's her
movie?
first-
No
I
kidding.
figured it had to be something like that because man, did they disrespect the shit out of her?
It's
Like,
interesting to
oh my
see
God.
that, to discover that Captain EO was familiar territory.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like,
I was like, oh, she'd been through that before?
I'll
All right.
do it again.
Yeah.
Why not? Whatever.
I feel bad for her in this movie. They mistreat her horribly. Then Ron Perlman, and then John Carradine, who plays the Supreme Commander. It's just
the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen.
yeah.
so like there's the guy's about to die.
Yeah.
That's about it.
He's in a.
And then
Bad.
like
One
a,
for the road.
like a Westworld version of them or something. That
What
was
is this, like
These
Fallout
pirate
New
delights have
Vegas?
pirate ends.
yeah. So guys, the movie starts on like a big title, like not a Star Wars crawl because we couldn't afford the crawl. It's
No.
just a title.
With,
Star
like,
Wars
kinda-
sit.
And it basically sets it up that like galaxy's gone dry, all right? It's
Bartender.
dry out here. And we need water. And there's only one planet with water. And my first thing is like, well, that's the end of the galaxy then. That's
We're done.
don't know how life supports itself without water, but whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Ice is the only thing that has value. The
Yeah.
only thing.
And so I was like, what are people drinking every day? How are they alive?
I was like, are they drinking each other? Milk?
That's
Is
what
this like a Turbo Kid
Everybody
situation?
running
Are they
around
blending each other?
fucking dehydrated as all hell.
How was like one guy eating an apple? He had to plant that with water and soil, right?
Exactly. But and by the way, it has water in it.
Yeah.
Space
thank
apples,
you.
dude. You don't know.
Space apples.
This is the
Spapples.
future. Who knows? They're all
Space
made of
apples sounds
replicators.
like someone who doesn't want to swear. Space apples.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it starts with them breaking onto another ship.
Well,
Like
we
the
get-
the
so-
opening shot is like all the robots hanged themselves. We just
Yeah.
have dangling.
Yeah, like a
There's
robot
always my
gallows.
way.
Yeah.
Well, we get so there's the text screen, and then we get the smash of the ice pirates and like the old timey piratey font, big swashbuckling music.
Yeah.
and then nothing fucking happens in this movie for like 10 minutes.
No.
the pacing just goes.
No.
We're going to be at a 10. No, slow it down to 1.
And like maybe it's accurate for like real life space travel or something, but fucking turn on some lights.
I mean,
For God's sakes, turn on some fucking
they're
lights.
trying to
in
do
this
a
thing.
Ridley Scott thing with a spaceship setting.
a lot of steam.
This
a lot
is
of
the Ice
dripping.
Pirates homage to Alien.
The space herpes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of
Like an homage
homages
to
to Alien in
Spaceballs.
this
Yeah.
movie, Bobby. A lot. But they can't call it a face hugger, so that, we'll call it something else. But if I kept writing it actually halfway through this movie, if only they John Hurt half the cast. Fucking love it. Because my main complaint about this movie.
If while the Tingler was running around the spaceship, it started taking people out.
Yeah. My main complaint about this movie is that there's too many fucking
There's
characters.
way too many fucking characters.
I'm like,
for
kill
no reason.
somebody. Kill them.
Ice some pirates.
Yes, it's like fucking half the cast is useless, and then halfway through the movie they bring back people from the beginning of the movie, and you're like, do we need this? How many people can fit in this bridge? Like, at some point they got to be like, no. And then I didn't know if it was a running joke or not, because at some point they just start adding animals to the mix. And
right.
they got
It was like,
fucking
is
petting
this the
zoo.
fucking Ark? No.
Yes, exactly. It's a fucking Noah's Ark.
This thing turns into
What are, they,
one.
what are they drinking to survive?
That's what Chris, I wrote that so many times. I'm like, fucking more mouths to feed, huh?
I actually have a theory about all of this for the end. I'll say it.
Because I thought they were going to eat the animals.
Yeah.
I was like, smart idea. Get a fucking donkey, some donkey meat.
Yeah, or drink the donkey blood like you're in the Serengeti.
Maybe you can milk that thing. I don't know. I mean, who knows,
You
right?
get a big kidney stone if you just drink milk all the time of that thing. So careful.
Which might be valuable in this future space world.
Only
Exactly.
ice is valuable.
Well, they wear it as jewelry.
So I would like to think that all the inappropriate 80s stuff is due to everybody being massively dehydrated in this world.
They're not thinking clearly.
And not that they're just all horrible people, because
Yeah.
pretty much everybody that's an ice pirate's a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
They're
Like,
pirates.
Pirates.
but again, these
They
are
have
supposed
no-
to be our heroes.
This isn't the nice pirates.
Yeah.
Shut up, Bobby.
Oh,
Shut
boy.
up.
Oh boy.
How many times do you think this movie has been mislabeled as space pirates? How many times do you think people have gotten space and ice mixed up? Because they are pirates in space, but they're getting ice. Do you think there was a back and forth in
God.
terms of what are they going to call it? Space pirates, ice pirates?
To diminish that confusion, they were going to call it vending machine pirates. No.
I honestly think that Space Pirates would have probably been a better title.
I don't know. I like the sound of ice pirates.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I'm getting like some sort of Shackleton thing. I don't know. Like they're going
By the title, though, I wouldn't have thought it was a space movie.
exactly.
Right.
That's
Ice
what I'm
pirates
saying.
makes you feel like
Yeah.
some pirates got stranded in like the
Antarctica or
Yeah,
something.
like
Yeah.
I'm saying, like a
Yeah.
Shackleton. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I don't know what that means, so I'm just rolling with it.
Like
I'm smart. I know what it means.
like an expedition to the Arctic that went wrong. You know.
Oh, you mean like a Shackleton?
Yeah, like a
Okay, yeah,
the
I'm
old
with you.
Shackleton.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm with you now. Why do you say
that
so?
Shackleton.
Yeah. So they basically break into a big spaceship and they break down a wall into a room where an alien's taking a shit.
We're only
the
minutes
aliens
in and
the
we have a
bathroom.
Muppet taking a dump.
I did think that was kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, it's funny that they had no doors either. It's like, I guess there it's okay it's a thing to shit with the door wide open.
Well, you know,
That's
it's
the
space,
future.
Chris.
It's space future.
Space,
Yeah.
you know, space is at a premium in space. So,
Okay.
We've already achieved what Star Wars couldn't.
yeah.
Watching a Muppet take a dump.
Oh, you don't think that Lucas had that at one point? Oh, I really think that Greedo should take a shit, Anakin.
I'm willing to believe that
Jar Jar does step and poop.
I'm willing to believe that has happened in every single Star Wars movie and has been cut each time.
Yeah.
In fact, it was originally going to be who shit first.
Like
Yeah, Paramount's like, George, we had to remove the Han taking a shit while he's talking to Leia.
I liked the one where Sebulba took a shit on Anakin's pod racer.
So then they drill a hole, yeah. They go through, everybody says, take care of it to the monster taking a shit. And then somebody just kind of hits him over the head.
Yeah, then he gets bonked for his troubles. He's
Yeah.
been through
Yeah,
enough.
he's just sitting there minding his,
Like,
minding his
he
shit.
wasn't
and
trying to. He's
No.
trying to finish, man.
He didn't even get to wipe.
He's gonna wake up later. It's gonna be all itchy. It's gonna be terrible.
Oh, man.
Because we've all been
Be the
knocked out on the
worst.
toilet, right?
Yeah,
I'm
of
not the only
course.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Push too
Usually
hard.
by a ninja, but
Right.
not a space pirate.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Usually by mall security.
We walk around a ship hallway, some robots on the fritz. So basically, I just write every
The
robot.
Rocky IV
here's-
robot.
Here's the problem. Every robot in this movie is shitty, and they all look the same. Like the bad guys' robots, the good guys' robots,
All
they all
of
look
these
the
robots
same.
look like fat Ultrons.
And like I can't
do.
tell who's who. So when they get in
Well,
fights,
yeah,
I'm
you
like,
can because they've painted the bad ones like roosters.
But only some of the bad ones.
yes,
But
yes.
also, that just it doesn't matter
No.
when the robots are fighting. Also, the robots look like they're made out of rubber, so they don't really look like robots, but fat Ultrons. But yeah, it's either the fighting robots who are all made out of rubber, or there's the Rocky 3 robots that are bringing
Was it
Polly.
3?
I think it was 3,
I
right?
thought it was 4.
I think it's 4. Rocky 4 when he has that
yeah,
robot.
it's at the beginning.
Where Polly,
'cause
like,
he's so
where Polly's
famous
so
at that point.
fucking rich. He has a robot, dude.
Yeah.
and it's like Polly's wife and sentient, and it rags on him for smoking.
Sort of his Krieger scenario.
So no, there's like every robot is really shitty. They all look the same. It's like this is what the budget was. They're like we only have one robot model we can do. Like we only could afford half the outfits, and so they fight each other at multiple points. And you're like, well, I don't know who I'm supposed to root for because they all are painted
I couldn't
exactly
tell
the
who
same
was
until
who.
the end
Yeah.
when they paint them like roosters. But that's It's in a long
And there's the
time.
black robot, so we got him.
Yeah.
There is a black robot that they have to make a comment about it. Not Han has to say something about it.
Right.
Which is, we're going to learn is within his character. He's a very uncomfortable man.
There are 2 unique robots, which both also manage to be offensive. But we'll get to those when we get to them.
My favorite robot, though, is the rice cooker robot. It looks like a rice cooker with wheels on it, and it just goes around. It's like beep, boop, beep, 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 beep. It does nothing but look great.
Yeah.
It's definitely their R2-D2. But instead of full R2, all they could get is a rice cooker with some eyeballs.
Yeah, they got it at Radio Shack.
Yeah, it's like the fries version, you know.
It's a garbage store.
It is a garbage store. So then, like, some old-timey maid comes out and yells at them. They're like, why are you in this ship, ice pirates? And
Get out of here, ice pirates.
Why didn't anybody notice that there's pirates on the ship? No alarms or anything? Ah, fuck it.
Nothing. Even in the future, nothing works.
Yeah, and so they take her captive. And then there's guards that come up dressed in chainmail now.
Yeah,
I'm
these
like,
are they talk about the space Templars.
Yeah.
And really,
Right.
it looks like space pythons show up.
In my notes that I did not bring, I wrote Monty Python in space.
make the radar
Yeah, man, we're getting like medieval
Jam-a-lot.
shit now, and then we're getting a future shit. It's like we were saying earlier, it's like Doomsday.
Yeah, they're just mixing every.
Yeah.
Like, here's
It's
again.
raided the costume shop.
$8 million was the budget. They lost $12 million of it. MGM's like, but you can have anything in the prop
And
room.
so some of those robots had to turn into Templar knights because
Yeah.
we couldn't afford any more robot
It's like,
suits.
no, not going to do it. So I've drawn some chainmail. Look, it's futuristic if you just kind of put it with some ripped sleeves. Yep.
We'll fix your swords in post. They'll be like lightsabers.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the other thing, is that everybody in this movie uses a sword, but we established that there are, like, laser guns.
And that's the thing, too, that kills me is the robots are running around with, like, swords and axes. Like, why are you giving robots primitive weapons?
And they're fucking shitty robots. Like, I just can't get over how shitty these robots are.
But in the movie's defense, they are treated as though they are shitty robots.
Yeah, they're
And
all
just
shitty
complain about how
robots.
shitty the robots are.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
In this future, like, the
Well,
technology
it's
sucks.
like the current future, like trying to talk to Siri. It's the same frustration that happens.
I like that one robot has a peg leg, and there's one robot that for some reason is shorter than the other ones. Although I'm pretty sure, because that's like the Kung Fu robot, it's shorter because the movie is racist.
Yeah, this movie, that's why I'm going with my one theory is that they
boy.
really don't hold back on a lot of things. We go, woo, 1984, guys. Do whatever we want, including Han goes into a room and he finds this princess.
We got a little Snow White situation here.
Yeah, here's the thing. She's like in some sort of cryo sleep or something.
Yeah.
He just opens that right the fuck up.
Uh-huh.
And he's like,
Coulda
"Ooh,
killed her."
A lady.
She could have gone
She
Total
could be
Recall on
holding a
Mars.
disease.
Yeah, what if this is an iron lung?
He got
You know?
everyone killed. Yeah, she just... The spores come out of her when he opens it.
Although I would have liked it if it was an iron lung and like that was the rest of the movie. The princess is just in some iron lung.
They're just pushing her around.
Wheeling her out. And Han's like still obsessed with her. You know?
Trying to feel it up.
Yeah, speaking of feeling
And
up,
that's
Chris.
kind of... Yeah.
He looks down her shirt
Yeah.
until Roscoe catches him and he's like, nothing. I wasn't doing anything. And he says,
Roscoe's like, yeah, we're not doing that in this movie, dude.
and then that's when the movie goes, guys, you remember what year it is?
Yeah.
We'll play the line.
What happened to we rape, we pillage?
Our hero, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Again, this is aged great.
This is problematic.
So within the first 5 minutes of the movie, our main character says, what about raping? Am I right? Guys in the audience?
Am I
guys?
right, everybody?
1984, that joke killed. You can't imagine guys in the audience going, ha! Bruce Vilanch himself.
Well, that's the one person I think would laugh at that.
If you could listen to our Patreon episode where we discuss Fox as fuck,
This is definitely a Fox as fuck moment.
then like the chainmail guys come up to the door and they're like, oh, Roscoe pretends to be like the old maid. And then basically they're like, we're going to take this princess, right? They want to take her, but first they got to go rob ice from a big old ice warehouse.
But they have to go steal ice from a matte painting of ice.
Yeah.
Because that is... I don't think that was even finished yet. Like, it looked
Yeah.
like the sketch.
Again, it's just, I feel like the director's like, I lost $12 million and you still expect me to make this movie? They're like, but we got Vilanch.
It's like, I feel like I got Valanched.
Like, they're like, we're going to make a great action movie. Oh, fuck, we lost over half the budget. Make it a comedy, you know? Then everybody will be like, yeah, it's shitty because it's
cheeky.
funny.
It's part of
Yeah.
the joke, you know. It's shitty, and just lean into it.
I feel like they just had this whole epic in mind. And
Yeah.
by the way, all the major things are just ripping off Star Wars.
No.
Even to the point, like, there's multiple points where I'm like, oh, like that scene in Star Wars.
Which is true of so many movies
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, do you think we'll get a hologram in this movie? We'll see.
Oh God.
So they make it into the matte painting of an ice warehouse, and they're like, hey,
Rip a hole right through it.
hey, there's a bunch of ice in here. And they're like, good thing it's the most important thing in the whole galaxy. And you know what? Ain't nobody gotten it. Nobody cares about any of this shit.
And we even got, I think Roscoe is even like, I'm going to retire. 'Cause
Great.
That's
On
what
ice.
every pirate wants.
Yeah.
Retire on the ice.
Man, real fucking shitty if, like, their cooler system went out, right? Fucking hey, we're in trouble.
Then we're the water pirates.
Oh man.
That's no good.
Oh, that was the sequel, and you know it.
Yeah, Waterworld. Kevin Costner said yes.
Wet
Real
pirates.
chilling situation.
The Wet Bandits.
So basically, like any other movie, heist movie, the only people guarding this are two guys sitting in chainmail in an office.
And what are they watching on their view screens?
Why, they're watching Rollerball.
Rollerball.
Hell yes.
Yeah. What'd you say, Bobby? We're close to real Rollerball.
Yeah, Rollerball takes place in 2018. We're there.
I heard
It's
that
happening right now as we speak.
I heard the North Korea negotiations are going to be Rollerball.
That's going to be
And we'll see who wins. Whoever wins gets the nuke. That's what it'll be.
The ball
James
is the
Caan's
nuke.
suiting up right now. They're like, no, James, it's all right.
James.
Oh, that'd be the saddest thing.
So then they pillage this place, old pirate style, which was endearing. They're
Yeah.
space pirates. Never
Yeah.
mind, they're ice pirates, but
Not
in space.
Han does a big swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crashes through a window.
He
and
buckles
goes
a
through sword
swasher,
fight.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old Errol Flynn style. You
We
know,
need
kinda
it.
swings in there and hits guys with swords, but then he can't kill them. But
Well, he's a good guy.
Roscoe swings in, and I think the guy falls on a sword, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he's a good guy, Bobby. He can't kill anybody with his sword, but he could sure make a rape joke." Like, you know.
That's a good guy in the 80s.
Good guy in the 80s. That's right. Yeah.
So this movie's rated PG, right? Is this pre-short round, as we've
Oh, yeah.
discussed? Because this is... There's a lot of stuff in this movie. I'm like, is this for children, or is it just rated PG?
Well, I was 5 years old when I saw this in the theater. It's for children.
Oh, man.
And look at him now.
So then Rod Perlman gets his hand sliced off by a robot.
Very casually.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool
There's
about
so many hand cuts in this movie.
Again, like a Star Wars,
Yeah.
we learned that you could just
And they
get
all
it
happen
reattached.
together within like the first, within like 30 seconds of each other. It's like they gotta cram it down our throat. Hands getting chopped off. Star Wars. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But then does he grow a new hand?
No.
We'll get
Or
to
he
that.
gets...
I think that he's
No, I
it's
think
implied.
that he got his hand reattached, but then he had another severed hand he found or something.
I thought
So
it was
he can
maybe
play
like a
the old,
lizard where
the
he could
fake
just
hand gag.
regrow limbs. 'cause it's
He's a
future.
lizard.
He's a lizard pirate.
Illuminati confirmed.
Basically, they try to get these shitty robots to fight other shitty robots, but they all look
It's like
the
Real
same.
Steel
Yeah, and you don't know who's
on
who,
way lower of a budget.
but everybody's cheering.
They were doing a Rock'em Sock'em thing. They should have had
Yeah.
one of the heads pop up.
That would have been
Oh,
great.
yes.
You know, but Vilanch, he wouldn't allow it. That's a little below him, Bobby. So Nahan kills one of their own robots by pushing him off a ledge.
As a warning to the other robots.
Yeah, he's like, if you're
to be better.
if you're shitty like this one, I'll also push you off a ledge. Again, our main character, our hero, guys, has done a rape joke, and he's killed one of his own robots and said, "Let that be a warning to you." Not just the robots, every one of you, the people
That's
included.
A good guy in the 80s.
Yeah. So then the pirates make it to the bridge, like of their own ship. There's a lot of times where this movie will just cut out what I assume was supposed to be in there and like, don't have the budget, just go to the ship.
Just go to it.
We do have the budget for a fried chicken dispenser, though.
Yeah, on the bad guy's bridge, there's an automat with fried chicken.
Yeah.
There's
What?
there's Mr. Chicken. It's like the Spaceballs fridge.
Well, I read in order not to break labor rules, they had to mix lunch with filming.
Craft service on
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
KFC again, huh,
behind the
Bruce?
prop wall, handing food through
Yeah,
a whole
yeah.
line.
I think Bruce Vilanch was personally getting that food.
We're gonna have KFC on the set. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, huh? It's great, Bruce.
Yeah.
So Nahan,
Whatever stops you from talking, Bruce.
Yeah, as he shoves another drumstick in his mouth.
Strip this wig.
So Nahan holds the captain hostage while the other guys take the ice. Then half the cast, don't worry, guys, they're going to disappear. Here's the thing. I didn't know they disappeared until halfway through the movie when they came back. I'm like, wait, they weren't with that? Because there's so many people in this movie. I was like, they were gone? Angelica Houston was gone for half the movie?
It's like the guy at the beginning of summer school who asks to use the bathroom, and then you forget he's a character until he comes back at the end.
Yeah. Because I thought she was just walking with them, in various scenes and stuff. I'm like, fuck that. They left her. So here's the thing, though. Like, they get off the ship with the ice and stuff. What did they do with the other people? They just were like, all right, bye. Because they got there on the same ship, right?
Yeah, so they get onto their ship and escape, but the Templars follow. And the
On their space
pirate
horses.
ship, yeah, on their mechanical spaceship horses.
Yeah.
But
This is like
the ice
Silverhawks.
pirate ship can split into 3, and so that's where Angelica Houston, that's where Ron Perlman go, and then Roscoe and not Han. Do they have the princess or no? Are they just trying to escape at that point?
They do have the princess.
Oh yeah, they're trying to escape.
Well, okay, wait, no, they want the princess. The rice cooker robot tries to stop him, which was funny because he just threw a little sheet over it and it can't see. I did like that scene. But they make their escape. The princess doesn't want to go. Not Han doesn't care because consent's not a word to him or a phrase. Space battle. Yeah, I don't know. Does she get on the ship? I think she does.
Because so it
Yes, she
splits.
does.
It does
She
the
does.
Star Trek Next Generation Enterprise splitting in 2, but this splits in 3. And then the bad guys catch Roscoe and Jason.
See, it's not
board the
like
ship.
Star Trek. There's 3 of them.
3.
It's better than Star Trek.
But then they get boarded by I guess he's the main antagonist, although he is absolutely boring.
He's only in this movie for 5 minutes. I call him the douche prince.
Yeah.
It's just some guy.
Yeah.
That just shows up when they're like, we need to advance the plot because this is going nowhere.
He's evil.
So there's the big old like, oh, it's an Atari game joke as the space battle.
Yeah.
And then they lose to, I write the quote bad guys because I don't know who's bad right now. I'm like, well, they've stole a lady and stole all the ice. So these are the bad
I currently
guys.
have trust issues with our protagonist,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I don't
Like-
know if he's even the good guy.
I know Han Solo is a smuggler and all, but we do get to like him in Star Wars, as a,
Yeah, I mean, he shoots poor Greedo, but, that's...
yeah.
Aside from that...
Well, nobody
he's a
liked
stand-up
Greedo.
guy.
Come
I
on.
loved Greedo. What are you talking about?
The original was he was going to shoot Greedo on the can. It was going to be
Just a
Real
quick
good one.
aside. My wife works for a library, which I think is okay for me to say. But they can occasionally wear like T-shirts to work, but they all have to be like the official library T-shirts. And one year they had some sort of Star Wars theme, so there's like lightsabers and books on it. And I was like, well, what are you going to do if someone asks you who your favorite Star Wars character is? And she's like, I don't know. I was like, say Greedo, because that's the best. And she's like, no, I know. Not, Boba the Hutt? I was like,
oh, no.
say Boba the Hutt. She's
Definitely
like, okay.
say that. I like that you're preparing her for what happens when some nerdy-ass gatekeeper shows up to try and see just how much you know about Star Wars.
You gotta know.
Yeah, because if she said Greedo, he'd be like, well, who shot first? I don't know what you're talking about.
And she goes, me, blam.
Yeah, we should say that your wife is a lot like Charles Bronson. She always carries around a gun.
And she does a little point.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3's all right with her.
Okay, we
Allegedly.
go.
Allegedly.
I don't want to get in any trouble here.
This is what I love, though. At the end of the scene, they shoot a guy. They shoot one of the ice pirates, but it's a guy we've never seen before. Like, I don't think he's even been in the movie. And they go, hey, you know what? To make it serious, audience, we're going to shoot this fucker. And they shoot this guy. He's already laying on the ground,
They've, like,
which
got
is
a
the
red
funny
shirt.
thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, ah! And I was like, you couldn't have shot somebody in the cast, make us care? Somebody we got to know?
It's like the first episode of the X-Men cartoon. You're a kid, you're like, wait, who's Morph? Why is everyone like this Morph guy? You're like, apparently that was a big deal, this guy.
So we go to the space prison. They're all locked up in a cage. That's when you meet Killjoy, who's the friendly criminal, just Sloth from Goonies, and he's just
And I'm going to picture him as Sloth from Goonies.
that would have been pretty funny.
If all he ever said was, hey, you guys.
That character would have fit in this movie.
Yeah, he's basically an ice pirate.
Yeah.
In Goonies.
So again, they don't need him.
We need Sloth and
Like,
Chunk with
He
the
is,
ice.
No.
but I would say he's by far my favorite character in this movie, but he's not necessary.
I think he should have been the main character instead of not Han. I would much rather have followed him around. He was more endearing and charming, because he's
You think it would have been great if
portrayed-
Nan got sucked out an airlock and we
Yes.
just had to follow?
Yeah, because I'm like,
Oh, Sloth for the
Killjoy,
rest of it.
to me, Killjoy, who's modeled after the horrible direct-to-video slasher clown Killjoy. God. No, I would have much rather have seen a movie with him because he was charming. Like, he's got that Han smile, and every time he's like, hey, yeah, I'm just pretending to be this guy. Go get me a sandwich, He's the fun rogue.
Yeah.
He's running scams. He's giving exposition in entertaining ways.
He's not talking about things like not having consent.
He's properly ice pirating.
Yeah.
Yes. But instead, he's just a character who's going to show up every 15 minutes to be like, you remember that I'm in this movie?
This movie needs some energy. Here I am.
So, yeah, when him and Roscoe started running around, I was like, all right, I kind of like this.
Now's the movie.
So basically, he tells them, hey, look, guys, we're in this space prison. We're going to get taken to a planet where we're all going to be castrated and lobotomized. And I read at this point, I go, well, it wouldn't be a loss from what I've seen so far. I mean, I don't really care. Like, you can off them all. It doesn't matter. So they land on, like, as they say, did they say it's the, quote, the water planet?
Yeah.
Or
It's like the Coruscant of this ice pirate world.
Yeah.
It's the main capital on the planet with ice, or with water.
And they learn it's the only source of water in the galaxy. And I was like, well, seems like you wouldn't be able to live very far from this planet with the only source of water. But whatever, I digress. Killjoy gets out of castration because he like dresses like a monk. Because at one point he says, oh, they won't castrate the monks because just in case there really is a god, right?
I really like that.
So is it, again, though, we don't see it, but I'm assuming it's to be assumed that he beat up that skinny monk.
Yeah, because
and
there
stole
is a
him.
monk
so.
in the cage
Yeah.
with them who's
Yeah.
like praying.
You don't see it, but here's the thing: is like the monk outfit is now his size, which he is
Yeah.
a fucking NFL linebacker.
I love when that happens.
And the monk was like a skeleton.
Yeah, it's interesting. The talking about rating prop departments when we're seeing everybody in the cage because there's like a monk and then there's a space marine looking dude. And I'm
Oh, the
expecting,
power
like,
to the people guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
like
Power to the
Master
People guy.
Chief's in there.
I'm expecting like a clown. You know, there's a guy. There's a
Killjoy,
guy
the
in
clown.
a football uniform. It's like zombie sequences in Dawn of the Dead where there's the Hare Krishna in the
Right.
in the cage.
Oh, the Krishnas.
You got the space Krishnas.
Yeah. You know, that
Untapped.
so fucking topical too. They could have had it.
It would work so well.
So
This assembly line castration machine's pretty great.
I fucking love this part. This was probably my favorite part in the whole movie. So they're all laid down on a conveyor belt.
Yeah. And they're sliding down, and they're getting. These guys are coming up to them as they go through. Now they are immobilized. They cannot move. They cannot move a muscle. They're just going through this
Paralyzed,
giant
essentially.
machine, giant warehouse, and they're just going through this giant machine. And these people with these giant razors are coming at them, and they're like freaking out, and they put shaving cream on their face. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay, and they just shave them.
It's like Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they just shaved Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're the big, climax is that they're afraid of getting, castrated, and so they.
They keep thinking, oh, where's that razor going to go? But no,
Yeah.
the castration machine.
It keeps being different things. The castration machine itself looks like a Mauser from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
That's why I like
Yeah.
you, Bobby.
My man.
Mauser.
I see you over there, Tanner.
And it's just going
chomping.
like, hatcha, hatcha. It's doing the
Yeah.
scorchy.
There's also, while they're going down the belt, our protagonist goes by basically Laverne and Shirley hanging out on the assembly line, who started ogling him for a second.
So here's the thing is like, it's that Mauser, right? And it has the big old teeth and everything. And apparently it's castrated, guys, because you can hear the screams going, ah! There's no blood on the thing. I was like, should
They're
that
efficient.
just be like fucking covered in blood?
Well, it's like dental equipment. They probably have a suction tube to clean up the blood.
I like to imagine that the chomper kind of rotated through, like there are multiple chompers.
Yeah,
and
and it
so it
goes-
chomped and then rotated up to a clean, fresh chomper.
That's how
Yeah.
I'd do it.
Yeah, that's my fan wink for it.
Yeah.
So basically what happens is that the princess saves them. She's like, don't worry, you're not going to get your dicks cut off.
Just pretend that it happened.
yeah, pretend you're a eunuch. And they're like, okay. And so,
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
yeah.
There's no reason at this point why we should think that the princess likes them.
Yeah.
Because as far
If
as she knows,
anything,
they've kidnapped her and we're going to
Yeah.
he
And they're
wanted
generally unlikable.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
kidnap her to have sex with her. She should have cut his dick off. Like, that would have made more sense. She was like, oh, no, Roscoe, I'm fine with him. Actually, he stopped what was going to happen. But this guy, not Han, take it. Yeah.
Fuck you, you're cool, and fuck you.
So they turn into slaves, and basically the way that you slave it up in space is that you're dressed as like in all white.
Well, basically, you look like a Mormon in heaven, I think.
You're dressed in all white.
This thing looks like a futuristic Annie Lennox video.
I was going to go, they look like the vegan from Scott Pilgrim versus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you have like, you even have to wear a white wig and everything. And you just get bought in a store and the princess and the nanny come up, and they're like, we want to buy us some slaves. And they see Roscoe and Nothan, and they're like, we'll buy them.
Meanwhile, during this too, some people are having fizzy lifting drinks from Wonka's factory.
Yeah.
Going
Yeah.
up to the ceiling, to which our protagonist takes that moment to get an upskirt on somebody.
Oh,
Okay.
at the party. Yeah.
God, yeah, there we go again. No,
Our hero,
hold
ladies
on.
and
Did they
gentlemen.
take a drink, or does she shock herself in the head?
Yeah, she puts on a weird headpiece thing, and you
That's
see
what
like
does
Yeah,
it.
she like
badly
electric chairs herself.
drawn
Yeah.
electric.
Yeah, she Green Miles
cartoon.
herself, and apparently you
And it
float
makes you
up-
float to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Which I believe happens to the kid's uncle in Mary Poppins.
Yeah, he Green Miles
he
himself.
zapped himself
and-
in the head and he flew up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. He zapped himself loud and long and clear.
Yeah, so they're at this, as I put, a shitty space club because, man, they didn't have that budget.
Here's
the thing.
I do think the space party, there is a weird homage to Bob Fosse with the way that
Yeah.
scene opens.
I can see that.
Yeah, which is a weird thing to homage in this movie.
Why not?
Like, you lose over half your money, fire half the cast. You know what I mean? Save
Nah,
the
just the
money
sound
there,
crew.
right? Yeah, again, they rehire a new sound crew,
Yeah.
and because of union rules, they probably had to pay those guys their full rate. This is why they can't afford lights for the dance club scene.
So at this point, I don't think we even really understand why she saved them, right? Like she's
Tanner, you can't really understand what the movie
Oh
is.
yeah, there's nothing that makes sense.
We're talking,
but
we're 20 minutes into the movie. We're like, some plot's going to
something's
happen.
gonna happen. So she saved them. She's made them her slaves. She said that they are going to help her with some plan, but she hasn't told them yet.
Yeah.
But she will tell them at some point at this party.
Yeah.
But they have to be slaves at this party and serve drinks. And Roscoe, I forget what he's doing. Something with the robots.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
he-
he's like the robot manager or something.
Because they do kind of establish that Roscoe is the gadget guy for the space crew.
He's
because he
cute.
just talks
Lightly.
about yeah, like
Lightly.
he references like, oh, you can make a lot of money building robots.
Yeah. And so he's going over to work with the robots, tell him, like, do this, do
He's got to
this.
serve drinks with R2-D2 and C-3PO at Jabba's place.
And then we find out that Killjoy has now... He had a good plan. Like, he was hidden as a monk. Now he's hidden himself as a space
robot.
robot with a knight's helmet
He's just put on like a knight costume. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm a space robot now.
And then he goes like, hey, man, I'm really hungry. You go get me a sandwich, cake, something with sugar in it. And they're like,
Killjoy's the
Make
best.
something with sugar in it.
that's what I'm saying. You should just had him. I'm like, I like this guy. Every time Nothan shows up, I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
So then they get into like a big chase sequence because they're like, fuck this part of the movie. We didn't like it. And Bruce Vilanch was
Benny
like,
Hill car chase.
yeah, Bruce Vilanch did a line of coke and he's like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this. Fucking space chase. Am I right?
Yeah, so they are escaping the party when the Templars see them and evil Prince,
Oh,
Douche
yeah,
Prince,
King Douche,
sees
yeah,
them
Prince
to try
Douche.
to stop her. They get on a motorcycle. They all get on the motorcycle, start to ride off. Killjoy grabs onto the back, so we get a drag joke where they're dragging him. And he's like, Jason, don't leave without me. Jason, come on. It's me. It's Killjoy. Oh, don't leave. Bad ADR. So here's
Just
the part of
rerun
the
chasing the
movie.
pickup truck.
So as I mentioned, I was 5 years old when I saw this movie in the theater. So the part in the chase coming up where the motorcycle, there is a family of robots. There's a baby robot, a daddy robot, and a mommy robot. And they are just going about their robot way. The motorcycle comes through and smashes the baby robot. And the daddy robot says, baby, in the robot voice. And then another motorcycle comes through and smashes the mommy robot. And the daddy robot goes, mommy, baby, mommy. It made me very sad in the movie. Later that night, I cried. I literally melted down. Like, and I remember this, like, in my bed, like, sobbing, and my mom being like, what's wrong? I'm like, in the movie with the baby robot gets smashed! And just losing my shit as a 5-year-old, having a meltdown about
Just on the
this.
way home, you're like, Dad, but the baby was all
Did they
right,
fix
right,
the
Dad?
baby robot? Did they
No,
rebuild
son, he's
the
dead.
baby robot?
He's dead. Welcome to death, Tanner.
Even
I like
robots
that
can die.
I appreciate that his father calls him Tanner.
He goes, when you listen up, Tanner. When you die, it goes dark. There's nothing. There's nothing.
You're as cold
Everything
as
you
the
are
robot
turns
parts.
to dust. All your robot friends are gonna die. Roboto, your GoBots, they're all gonna die. So that is my biggest emotional imprint from this movie. Is that scene and losing my shit.
This
at
movie
5 years
changed
old.
your life.
Changed my life. I'm full of empathy for robots. Humans, fuck them.
So is this hard to watch, this part?
No. I remember the first time I rewatched it as an adult and could remember it. I remember that scene differently. Like, I remember it being like
much more horrific. Yeah, because it's funny in the movie. It played off very funny.
It's funny how that works, though, when you're that young, though. I remember one time I was inconsolable after watching a foghorn leghorn kill a snake.
Oh.
And I just lost my shit. It's not even fair. She didn't even want to eat him.
And then when your dad was like, man up, boy. When you're dead, you're dead.
Oh, no, he left early. There was no one there to give me a harsh life lesson. I just sat there alone and cried. Mom wasn't getting home for 10 more hours.
I cried at the end of Son of Godzilla.
Oh,
At
no.
the part where, like, the snow is falling and they're getting, like, Minya or Godzuki, whatever you want to call him, is getting kind of, like, lost in the snow, and Godzilla disappears in the fog. And it's like, oh, no. And then Godzilla comes back, and then he holds Minya, and they just hug each other as the snow falls and covers them. I remember crying.
Niagara Falls, Frankie.
Just Niagara Falls for that. That's sad.
What about you guys?
Anyway,
Come on, man. Come on.
I'm assuming it's very awkward.
We've
the
all
other
had it.
night when
Brave
you were
Little
watching
Toaster.
this for the
Oh,
grind
really?
bin, and your wife walked into the room and you were crying, and she was like, "What are you watching?" And you're like, "Ice Pirates."
So, man, what's your Brave Little Toaster story?
Oh, I just as a kid, I just remember a scene from what I recall in the junkyard near the end.
Oh, Brave Little Toaster,
Yeah.
scary as shit. when you're
Yeah,
a child.
yeah. It was just more the empathy at the end with the junkyard, and the stakes were high, and I remember breaking down as a kid, going, "I want Blanky to win."
You still think that sometimes,
Yeah.
don't you?
Huh,
Yeah.
You wanted that bitch Blanky to win, huh?
What about you, Mike? Are you just cold? Is your heart an ice pirate, or have you also shed tears?
I'm
watching?
sure I've shed tears at a movie. I'm trying to remember a specific
Specifically
example.
as children. We've all
Maybe
shed
when
tears
like
as
the
adults.
purple people eater had to go back to his home. I was probably like, oh, you know,
Oh, that's
you know
like
what?
the Iron Giant saying Superman.
Do you know what used to scare the shit out of me as a kid? Two things. One was Flight of the Navigator in the part when he comes back and his family doesn't recognize him. That scared the hell out of me when I was a
Really?
kid. I was like, the idea of coming home and my parents being like, we don't know who you are and everything, I'd be like, what the fuck's going on, man? And also, what scared the hell out of me was Last Starfighter, when they go into his room and find that like replacement thing
Oh, yeah.
where it's like that husk of a being that's laying in his bed.
Yeah.
I had nightmares about that
Wow.
thing. I was just like terrified of whatever that was. And then you see it as an adult and you're like, oh, it's not even weird at all. Yeah, back then.
It's interesting that all of us had these like emotional, empathetic moments for characters, and all of yours, Mike, are like, shit's all gonna go wrong.
Oh yeah.
The world's gonna end.
That's how I live my life every day.
It's all identity issues with
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, I
really
guess
learning
so.
about each other here. So, Tanner, because of your robot empathy, when you watch Transformers, you're just like, stop! No! Why are you fighting?
I've actually never watched any of the Transformer movies.
You are a better man than I.
Oh yeah, I had to stay away.
You were smart.
I know. I just
Smart
cry.
to do it.
No, fuck those Transformer movies.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they don't look like robots.
No.
They look like piles of shit.
They look
They're
worse
not-
than the
they're
robots in Ice
They
Pirates.
belong in
Yeah.
Ice Pirates, yeah.
They look like giant
I'd
Ice Pirates
take an
robots.
army of fat Ultrons over one Michael Bay Optimus Prime as a hot rod, fire,
The
flame,
Bumblebee.
whatever garbage. Oh yeah, Bumblebee's the worst.
So Roscoe and Killjoy, they get approached by a pimp robot.
Oh
That's
my
how
God.
this chase ends.
The jive talking spank bot?
So we're in 1984 securely, and we can get away with stuff like this. But again, it's kind of weird to think like this movie always on those DVD cases just selling to a mass audience when
Yeah.
it's like, we got this in our movie.
Drop that in right here.
Oh, definitely. So but basically we have Dolomite the robot.
Yeah.
He's
Rudy Ray Robot.
he is doing the hard
Ray
sell.
Robot.
Rudy Ray Robot. Love it.
Hey, Bloods, y'all want to pump some kitties?
Yeah.
No.
Hey, it's been a long time.
Finest kitties on Mithra.
No, get the hell out of here.
Transportation and exotic crispy included. Yeah, Bloods.
Yeah, he calls Roscoe Blood.
Yeah,
So,
that's
you know,
really
that's
uncomfortable. He
really
keeps
not-
calling him blood.
Not okay.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Killjoy is very down though. He's like, "Oh yeah,
It's like a little screen playing some space pornography. Comes walking up to you.
yeah." And he's like, "Well, unlike Not Han, he goes, I'll pay for it. You know, I'll take it my legit
He's
way."
not above it.
Yeah,
It is interesting in the credits. This robot has its own credit as specifically designed by a separate design company.
Stan
Vilanch.
Winston.
Yeah,
Bruce Vilanch.
Bruce Vilanch built it himself.
I feel like this
Bruce
was
Vilanch
his
Studios
This was
made
his
this robot.
personal rope. He's like, we got to get the Dolomite rope, the Rudy Ray robot in here. It's gonna be fucking hilarious, guys. And they're like, whatever you say, Bruce, you're on fire. Here's more coke.
How do you bite space bubbles? I don't understand what this robot's killing.
Basically, they agree to go with the robot though, because he says, "I'll give you a ride to the whorehouse." But then we just lost the budget, so we just cut to them all back on the ship, and I'm like, okay, guess we got away. Because now everybody's on the ship, including the princess and the maid, and they're all like, hey, we're all good, right? Yep, okay. And then there's a new robot introduced. Okay, so another new fucking character. Now all of a sudden, Killjoy's on the ship, and he's like, here's my good friend, the trash robot. He's a trash can, but he's a robot. And when you toss some trash in him, he has like a little robot tongue.
Yeah, it's.
Oh my God!
It's a weird looking robot. I kind of dig it though.
He's like, it's kind of like R2-D2, but we painted him black, so it's not the same.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck you, Lucas.
Yeah.
Bring it. So then they.
Well, the robot's tongue is constantly out. It never retracts. It just
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah. And it,
Yeah. It's another
Yeah.
Vilanch thing.
toppy bot.
Yeah, so we get the new robot who's the butler robot named Percy, and he has a white collar. So again, why are there
great.
so many characters in this movie?
God
why is there a
damn it.
maid and a goddamn butler
So
robot?
they've given us
Combine
the
characters.
3PO and the D2 is what they've done. They're like, look, they didn't buy them from like some sort of space thing, and not one of them's going to play a hologram. There might be a hologram in the movie, but it's not from them. And they don't have a secret, but I feel like we got to have those in here, right? You need a Percy, like
Cute
a butler
robots.
robot, and you need one that doesn't talk but is a little small trash can. And so then the princess is like, hey, Nahan, I want you to take me to another space pirate so I could sell some ice. And he's like, no. And she goes, yes, because she pulls out a gun. He's like, all right, I guess that's what we'll do in this movie.
I guess that's what happens next.
Yeah, he's like, all right, audience, you down for that? No? Fuck it. So then we just cut to the douche prince, and he goes in to visit John Carradine, who
Who's
is
king of the universe, I guess, I don't
or
know what
2 days away from death.
yeah. And again, another rip of Star Wars. They allowed them to escape so they could follow them.
Yeah. So he also he says to this guy. Now we should say that John Carradine is strapped onto this machine in some sort of NASA flight simulator type of thing. Like, remember what you used to be able to do at the fair or something, where you go in the thing where it spins you around. You're like, look, you're like an astronaut, kid. Like, he's in one of those.
It's a great carny.
It's more
voice.
like almost
yeah,
like
look, you're like an astronaut, kid.
Yeah, it's like the Dan
That's
Aykroyd
5
character
tickets.
from
Yeah.
SNL. It's the bag of glass.
Yeah, astronauts buff too. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, it's more like a hamster wheel looking thing almost.
Yeah, it is. It's like a big
Yeah.
hamster wheel you turn around, and they've placed like an iron lung type of
Yeah.
deal in it,
Yeah.
and they've strapped John Carradine to this. And they're like, you can act in this shit, right, John? Look, you don't even need to walk. You don't even need to do anything. Look, we're gonna move you. And it's so sad because this man is he needed that last paycheck for the funeral.
Aw.
That's how pathetic this is. He looks not well.
No.
And I don't think it's just the character. He looks not well. I was thinking how funny it would be if that thing malfunctioned.
Just really tilted forward. It's fun.
Vilanch grabbed the controls at some point. He's like,
It's just rolling down the 101 into the sunset.
yeah. It's almost done, John.
The Busey on the big wooden wheel. Bulletproof.
Yeah, and John Carradine's yelling butt horn as he gets spun around.
I would pay good money to have John Carradine call someone a butthorn.
So
Yes.
then he's just like, okay, go finish the movie without me.
You're doing your demon cop voice.
Well, that's really what he sounds like.
Cure.
Yeah. Have you found the cure? No? Okay, well, go finish the movie. Go find my daughter. Now, here's the thing. The whole point is so John Carradine says, just like her dad, she was supposed to get on the ship. So the plan was she was supposed to get on the ship, but then later in the movie, she's going to want to find her dad. But her dad's right here.
That's not her dad.
Okay, so it's not her dad.
Dad. That's
okay,
her-
yeah.
So John Carradine is Emperor of the Universe or whatever.
Yeah.
The princess's dad was another high-level person in this Templar space government who was looking for the mystical 7th planet
Man, this
and
is
disappeared while looking for it.
Got to get that graphic novel. I'm assuming the Ice
All that
Pirates.
supplemental material.
Yeah. As a kid, you got it right away. You're like, Daddy, princess.
Yeah, princess. That's
Dad. Do you think that the baby robot lived? Michael, watch the movie. Stop it.
Tanner.
Tanner, watch the movie.
Look, Tanner. You asked me this one more time.
Can't imagine
I'm
like
gonna
how I
rewind it,
got
make you
my
watch it again.
parents to take me to this movie when I was 5. Imagine how annoying I was to get them to do it.
Yeah.
I want to see Ice Pirates. Take me to see Ice Pirates.
Well, I mean, your mom was like, it's better than Dorf. It's like better
Nothing's better than Dorf.
She's like, it's better than my work.
We'd have nothing without Dorf.
Yeah. How
This
dare
is a
you
Dorf
insult
family?
Dorf puts food on the table, damn it.
Yeah, Dorf built this house with his little legs.
Little legs, big dreams.
There was actually a Dorf built a house, and it was just Tanner's home.
Is there a spot at the table saved for Dorf? Just a plate that never
It's
gets
like
filled?
it's over.
Yeah, like instead of Elijah, it's a spot
Yeah.
for Dorf.
You leave a tiny chair for Dorf.
Yeah.
Daddy,
How is
Dorf
this night
showing up?
different than all others?
And what does the short child say?
And we should say that if you listen to our Patreon episode on Dorf, which Tanner's on, he told us he's a Dorf family and that his mom used to work for the production
I
company.
used to work for the Dorfs.
Making that Dorf fortune.
Tim Conway's Dorf, the beloved classics. So we're on the pirate ship. There's some sort of space shit rock that apparently got on the ship, and now it's hatching.
Yeah, it's
and-
it looks like a critter egg.
Yeah, it looks like a critter egg, like a giant ball.
Yeah.
And then it opens up, and emerging from it, it looks like the deadly spawn, if you've ever seen that.
Oh, okay.
A little face that pops
Yes,
up.
yeah.
And
I was
then the
gonna
rest
say-
comes out, it turns into the Tingler.
I was gonna say like it reminded me of like a mini tremor,
Yeah.
like a baby tremor.
Or like an inverted anus.
Sandworms. You hate them, right? I hate them myself.
So then it crawls up Roscoe's shoulder while he's sleeping and like bites him.
I love anything involving the little I keep calling it the Tingler in my notes, but anything involving the Tingler is great just because of the lame rubber puppet.
Oh
They have
my
to
God,
like
yeah.
It's like having a rubber snake on set. They have to act afraid of it.
I fucking got really mad at this point because I said, Jesus Christ, does every movie in the 80s have to have a shitty Muppet?
Yeah.
It's like, for fuck's sake. We went through this with House 2 with that fucking Muppet thing that we said it would have been better if it was biting Bill Maher's dick.
Remember the girl with the pterodactyl on his crotch?
Yeah.
Not only that, but it's another extra character in the film.
Again, yes, we have a whole extra character that doesn't even talk,
Yeah.
and we learned that it's a space herpes.
Yeah.
In the future, in space, herpes has manifested itself into a being that can bite you. And I guess Roscoe and, because it also bites Nahan, they both got space herpes now.
They do a lot of space herpes jokes, and this entire plot never pays off.
No,
No, not
I
at all.
was so
It's just
I
an
was
excuse to keep
fucking
saying herpes.
praying for that. When they had the dinner scene, I was like, please, John Hurt, the fucking cast. Like, please. I wanted space herpes to come out of everybody's chest.
All
and
at
just
once.
fucking die. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. There's too many people in it, you know. There's so many people in that dinner scene. They didn't have enough chairs for the cast. They're like, we can't even fit them around the table. Like, some people have to eat later.
Perlman's stuck at the kiddie table.
Yeah,
Someone's got to go up to the bridge to get
He's sitting at the
fried
Dorf
chicken
table.
on a mat.
Killjoy and Angelica Houston are at the Dorf table.
Like, this is bullshit. We've been here since the beginning.
He goes, can you bring me a sandwich? Please.
I'm just anyone.
No, in this movie, we'd have to wait to watch the other cast eat. Just fucking pacing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, now it's their turn. We're going to have a whole nother scene of their dinner scene.
Yeah.
So then Killjoy shows up again. He goes, hey, guys, remember me? And they're like, yeah, hey, guess what? The ship's got herpes. And he's like, yeah, fuck.
He's like leaning on the ship, and they tell him he's like, oh, and he's
Oh,
eating the apple. He's like, oh.
Because, again, he's great. So then the pirates are on some shitty planet or space station is what I write. Because it doesn't explain. We've cut to we're at a location now.
With a crowd of people.
I'm like, is there like a 2-hour cut of this movie? And they're like, fucking get this shit out of here, Vilanch.
Because now they're looking for a pirate that Not Han knows, who apparently helped Princess's dad, and I don't know what the fuck's going on, and they end up on a new planet, and it sort of becomes the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yeah.
There's this long
And you know
path.
that this
There
area is a hive of scum and villainy because we open on the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus, like punching each other in the face. That's what it looked like to me anyway.
Yes, and then people are fighting over water.
Yeah.
And when some guy gets the water, he just goes, water, and then pours it all over
This is
himself.
just our,
I'm like,
our
"Oh, that's
massive cantina scene.
fucking waste. Okay, Bobby, it's funny you say that because I just started writing not Cantina and not Mos Eisley for the rest of this planet, which is just basically... This makes no sense because they go to a fucking...
This is Manos Eisley.
Yeah. And we sit down at a table, right?
Spanish
Well,
jokes.
so when they arrive at the not Mos Eisley, they arrive in a vehicle.
Yeah.
So remember
Right,
that they
yes,
have
yes,
they
thank
have
you,
a vehicle
Tanner.
available.
Thank
to
you.
them.
Even as a 5-year-old, you're grabbing your dad. Go, yeah, but they got a spaceship.
They have a car.
He's like, damn it, Tanner, shut up.
You want to end up like that baby robot? Shut up.
Now I'm going out for smokes.
For the rest of your childhood, would they like remind you of the baby robot? He goes, Tanner, do you want to end up like the baby
Do you want to say a
robot?
prayer for the baby robot?
Why don't you clean your room?
Now that's his activation term. He's like a sleeper agent.
You're right.
He gets a phone call from an unknown
Oh,
number and
like
just goes,
telephone.
it just goes baby robots. And he slams the phone down.
Like you've seen that Charles Bronson telephone movie? For the Russians. The Russians call people on telephones and then they become like suicide bombers.
That's Tanner's Croatoa.
Yeah. You just watch the first like 5 minutes of that movie. It's fucking great. The rest of it, it's fine. So then Angelica Houston's finally back in the Mos Eisley bar, not Mos Eisley bar, not Cantina. And I was like, she left? Huh. And then Ron Perlman's back too. And I go, sadly, I didn't notice he was gone. And then, oh boy, guys.
Oh, everyone's fighting over water. Moist Eisley. That's what it should be. I was right there. I'm sorry, guys.
As that
I just got here. Hi, everybody.
Shopping cart rolls by. Thank you, Murray. Oh, Bobby's got the bag over his head.
As well I should. I'll wear it for the rest of the episode.
Bobby, why don't you say this next line?
No. How about that? How about we play this next line?
Man, how about you?
No, we're good.
We're not
If
even
it
going
leaves
to
you,
play
Tanner?
No.
I already had a close call with the mini bin. I'm not going near there.
No, we use the N-word because it's 1984, and we're like, that's just how we do things. That's how we roll. PG movie.
And this is one of those moments where like we're still throwing that around in the future, like out in the far reaches of space.
Well, maybe in space, like
In the future, it becomes nostalgic. So I like to bring it back to remember the old days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like how you can say kraut now, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Thank God we can do that again.
Yeah. So yeah, they throw around the N-word, and it's very uncomfortable. But even the character seems like he knows it's uncomfortable. He goes, "Oh, I meant the black guy," or something.
Because he says it to a black guy.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
That's
that
the
makes
big dude with the warlord makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who looks like a football player would fucking kill this dude.
I kind of thought it was professional wrestler Ernie Ladd.
Oh, he does look like the big cat.
Yep.
This dude is huge, and you're like, okay, we've introduced another character. We're gonna have this guy for the next half hour. No. So basically, we learned that they need a ride because the space pirate man they're supposed to sell these ice cubes to is 50 miles from here. And Tanner?
They established not more than 5 minutes ago that they have a car available to them.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we have to introduce another character of a frog woman that they first think is a frog man.
Yeah. So we're kind of
and
like
the
a trans joke.
Yeah. So kind of a frog person.
Yeah.
And first, the princess is going to have to seduce this frog person in order to get access to the car, even though they have a car. And then it's realized that, it's a frog woman, and she's interested in Not Solo. So now he has to go and pretend to be interested.
So how hard do you think Bruce Vilanch lobbied to play this part, and they wouldn't let him? Because he's like, I really want to play that trans.
I think we had at least one moment in full costume, and them going, Bruce, no.
Yeah, he shows up to set.
He's like, hey, I'm ready.
Coke all over the nose and everything. He's like, I'm ready to hit on him.
Ribbit, right?
He's doing the scorchy right at Nahad's dick, like ribbit. God, Bruce.
Also, about this frog person, if anyone saw Wrinkle in Time, this looks just like when Reese Witherspoon turned herself into a flying kale.
Oh my God.
Did you say kale as in the vegetable?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, really? That
Yeah,
happens?
she's got like a Brussels sprout head, and she's just
Oh,
like
God.
a floating leafy green going through the sky. In the book, it's like this huge, like, it's hard to even describe how beautiful this thing she turns into. The way they realized it in the movie is a flying kale. I'm like, I guess.
And they're like, oh, that's delicious.
Yeah. A Brussels sprout with a face.
Like to put that in a salad.
Eat that with a spoon.
Oh.
Guys, I'm
Now
leaving the
he's
show.
got the bag.
Hand me the paper bag.
I believe this belongs to you, Tanner. Sorry, I
Yes.
sweated it.
I'm just going to put on a plastic one. I can't top that one.
You know, I think you got the right idea.
Yep. There he goes.
Yep.
So then that leaves the princess and Angelica Houston
Yeah.
together for. I'm not willing to say this movie passes the Bechdel test, but at least the two female characters do get a scene together.
Yeah. And they get a scene together where a man's going to attempt to force himself on them, which that big guy that he's having a rough day. He just heard the N-word bandied about.
One of his employees.
I mean, like, look, dude, I understand you're upset. Maybe these aren't the people to take it out on, but I can understand the anger. Because he comes over and he's like, I want to dance. And she's like, no. And he's like, no, I want to dance. And Angelica Houston stands up and she's like, no, it ain't going to happen. And then there's this guy who's like not Geordie LaForge, but he,
he's got the lift up sunglasses.
The most
the Dwayne Waynes?
No, they're fucking useless. Goggles. They have nothing. No lenses, no nothing. What are they for? What do they
Fashion.
do? Tell me. Fashion? All
Your
right.
future fashion.
I'll take 2.
Yeah. And so Angelica Houston says, like, I'm going to sword fight you. And she does.
Hell yeah.
And 5-year-old Tanner must have screamed in the theater as a fucking man's head rolls off his head.
Mm-hmm.
His head rolled off his head?
A head rolls off
Yeah.
his body. Sorry.
That's why I kicked your leg out of your leg.
His head just rolls onto the floor. Now, as a child,
It's a
did
bit
this
much
even
for a
register?
PG
or-
I don't
adventure
remember that at all. So
You were crying so
I
hard
was
at
probably still
the...
upset about the robot. Or still wondering about the whole reason with the car. Like, they have a car. They have a car.
See,
Like, even at 5, he's tugging
Also,
his head.
this is the weird thing. They have a spaceship.
Yeah.
Just fly to the fucking place.
Because that's what I wrote. It's 50 miles. Get in your
Yeah.
fucking spaceship.
yeah.
But no. So we got to go to Mos Eisley Desert. Apparently, they're going to ride around the fucking desert in this, like, I don't know, some sort of NASA solar car or something, like the moon
Frog
rover.
Lady's taking them down the Fury Road.
And so on this trip, we have Frog Lady,
Uh-huh.
not Solo, Princess, and Percy the butler robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many people. They're like, who are we gonna bring on the trip? And Vilanch is, lobbying to get himself in there. And they're like, no, you don't come in until the last 20 minutes. Do we bring Killjoy? Do we bring Roscoe? How about that butler robot?
Throw a couple fat Ultrons on there.
Yeah, they should have just all been hanging off like a big
Every
like a,
seed, every time a vehicle's going anywhere, there should be fat Ultrons hanging
It
off the
should have
side.
been like
Like a barrel
the
of
box
monkeys.
art of a G.I. Joe vehicle. Just tons of guys hanging off the back.
Yes. And so the alien woman's just hitting on Not Han.
Rivet.
Puts doing her best Scorchy. Then we get to this pirates camp.
Lanky.
So I write, this goes on for a while. He just talks about, quote, the seventh world.
Yeah.
and
Lanky's
some
living in a
sorta-
tent in the desert surrounded by baby animals.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
Like he's
He's
got
got like a little baby warthog walking by.
Yeah.
baby donkeys and stuff.
Baby ducks. Also, there's for some reason a missile on a tripod.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah. Well, got to protect
In case
yourself.
these ducks get out of line.
I felt like that's how he was going to end it eventually. He was just going to aim it straight up and straight right down.
Like he's just going to choke on some ducks.
Yeah, like as the shadow grows wider above him, he just grabs a duck and puts it in his mouth. That's how I'm going out.
I always
man.
knew it'd be this way.
Sorry,
Yes,
Huey.
they find a pirate, and he's aged 20 years. I'm like,
Yeah.
how did this happen? It's the time warp. Searching
like,
for
yeah,
we did the
seventh
time warp
world.
again.
Yeah. Like, you
Step
guys,
to the left.
trust me, there's a movie underneath all of this. Underneath
It
all
all
these
makes sense
characters,
eventually.
there's something. Did you get the graphic novel? Kids, make sure on your way out you get your Ice Pirates issue 101.
You need to read the back of the card on your action figure. It'll tell you what every character does.
Get the trading card set.
So here's the thing that happens next, which doesn't make any sense. Fucking Mad Max guys show
The bounty
up.
hunters roll up in something out of the Wacky Races.
Yes,
Like it looks like they've been trying to find Penelope Pitstop.
there is a giant foam bouncing skull on the front and everything. It's very dastardly.
This thing looks like a downhill racer I made in Boy Scouts, where you just get like a triangular block of wood and some wheels. And you gotta add stuff to it.
Now, does anybody else see what happens? Is that they fucking run into the frog lady's car and it explodes.
Yeah.
And she's dead.
Yes.
She's fucking dead.
We feel nothing because we don't care about the frog lady.
Like, why couldn't you have made that some other guy? Like, anybody. Like, you know what? The butler robot. We don't need him. Have him die.
Tanner's been through enough. You can't also blow
Blow a
up.
robot.
You can't blow up
I'm
a friendly
fine with
robot in a
frog
bow
persons
tie.
or the maid. Just get rid of.
Actually, to
those
that point,
humans.
Tanner, how long did you cry over the frog lady?
Oh, I as a child I did not remember, but I got pretty upset when I watched it as an adult because I had forgotten
You
about
teared
the
up
frog
now
lady.
over the frog
Yeah.
lady?
I was like, oh, what a terrible.
It's not fair.
So here's the thing, right? We've all seen it explode.
Uh-huh.
They make their getaway in the same car.
Yeah,
That's a
It's now
durable
perfectly
vehicle.
fine.
And I'm like, wait a second. I just saw that explode literally not 1 minute ago.
The Volvo proved to be much more durable than I thought.
Yeah, it's a real regular Volvo, space Volvo.
Now, as ridiculous as the bounty hunter's pirate vehicle is, if it wasn't a giant foam skull, that actually would be a pretty badass toy.
Yes,
Oh, I'd have bought
actually,
these toys.
Yeah.
If the Ice Pirates were successful enough to get toys, that would have been like the fucking Ninja Turtles pizza van.
Like-
only
Oh
the
my
really
God.
rich kids would
Yeah.
get that thing.
Honestly,
you know?
fellas, real talk, full stop. I'd have had every fucking piece of this toy line back when I was a kid. If I knew about Ice Pirates at the time, that would have evaded me
Even
as a child.
Dead Baby Robot?
Fuck yeah.
It's got like skid marks on it and
No,
everything.
Dead Baby Robot is like. Do you remember the Crash Dummies action figures?
Yeah.
Where if you-
Oh, I had all those.
Or if you hit the button on the stomach, like
Yeah.
all their limbs fly off.
I fucking love those.
are
Those are the
awesome.
best. That was one of my. That I think may be my favorite Christmas gift I ever got. Was I got the student driver car
Yeah.
that I could then just like
Oh, that's
set
killer.
up and then send down the stairs and just watch.
Oh
it
my
go.
God.
Out of the way.
So what was the toy line then? Was there one that you were like all about?
That
Because us
one.
being boys in the '80s, like they were, trying their damnedest to get us all obsessed
Oh,
with at least one of them.
Well, no surprise to any of you guys, but like the Ghostbusters toy line for sure.
Oh yeah, those are great.
Oh, yeah.
Like the football player that you bend over and his
Still
ass
got
turns
it.
into a mouth.
Yeah, I got some stuff. Trying to offloads pretty soon. So
He'd fit right in a Grindbin movie. You know?
Well, you Mike.
Smash cut to a football player's
Oh, well-
tooth asshole.
His toothy asshole.
Other than the crash
Yeah.
test dummies. Well, for some reason, like 6th grade or whatever, I had a bunch of Spawn toys.
well, because the McFarlane stuff was next
Yeah.
level when you're a kid.
The problem is you couldn't play with it.
No.
It was just like...
there's no articulation.
Yeah.
it's like a statue.
It's
They're
like,
display
well,
figurines.
I
Yeah.
had like the whole alleyway and everything. Like I,
Oh, wow.
I had like the whole
You were
deal.
going all out.
I thought it was fucking cool.
You're like, this guy's the curse. He's got a chainsaw for
yeah,
a hand.
I didn't even read the comics or anything. I just were like, these action figures are awesome. So I had those, and also a lot of Legos. I guess I was a big Lego kid.
Guy. See,
Yeah.
I had them, but I was never that hardcore.
I was
about
never
that.
into Lego because everything I built looked like shit.
Yeah.
You had some self-esteem
It
issues,
didn't look
man.
like, oh, I could build my own TIE fighter. It's a
I'm
TIE
gonna
fighter.
build
that
my
looks like
own
shit.
baby
I'd rather have
robot,
a regular
Dad.
TIE fighter.
and I'm gonna protect it.
Yeah.
till it grows up.
Baby robot. And then your dad comes in and just kicks it over and he goes, no, Tanner, it's dead. Pick up your toys. Learn about death. It's not coming back. Dad, can I get a baby robot cake for my birthday? We've been through this so many goddamn
They
times.
don't make a baby robot cake.
Look, they
You
got
want a
Cookie
RoboForce
Puss.
cake?
All right, you got Cookie Puss or like the whale.
So then we get in a car chase. Well, they do run over a shitty robot, and I write, which I like.
Sorry, Tanner.
But it's Percy, and he comes back. He just digs himself out. Is the worthless.
Yeah.
Damn right,
It's
Percy.
worthless.
So they get in a car chase. That's right, right. I thought I saw their car blow up, but fuck it. These bad guys are dressed as Vikings. I write, who are these people? Do they have we met them before?
The chief Viking was the guy from the bar who did not get his head cut off.
Again, he's had a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently, did you see the trivia on IMDb that Max von Sydow apparently
He's
is
one of the bounty
them?
hunters.
I'm like,
Really?
It's like,
I think that's
man,
bullshit.
huh.
I don't know.
Underused him.
Maybe. Yeah.
yeah, wow.
Like, do you think he was just visiting set one day? And they're like, you want to ride on this thing?
They told him
whatever.
that his friend John Carradine was in the movie. He's like, oh, I'll go visit him. I'm like, oh yeah, he'll be on set this day when
Yeah.
we're filming in The desert.
It's like was it Gary Sherman's Death Line, where Christopher Lee showed up one day because he wanted to hang out with Donald Pleasance, and so they did a scene together because he never worked with him before. They're like, figure something out. Put us in a room together. Let us talk for a minute or two.
And they're like, all you got to do is put on this Viking outfit, to see John.
And I imagine that's what happened. Like, Max von Sydow showed up, and he was like, I want to ride in the toy car. And they're like, Max, you're not in this movie. I want to do it.
I want to drive it.
All right, you get to. Can I beep the horn? I want to beep the horn.
I want to kill that frog thing. It's not, the car isn't supposed to blow up, Max.
She frightened him so bad, they had to let him kill it. He was having a full panic attack. They're like, you get to blow her up.
So then it just goes on. They win. And then Nahan goes back. Nahan gets on the car and he just basically slices everybody up.
Swashbuckles his way.
It's
I do
all
like
good.
that they're all looking over the edge to look at one of their guys who got ran over, and Jason sneaks on board and then pushes them all off under the wheels of the car.
It's very Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Then they win, and then they talk to the old pirate nobody cares about, but he's going to die anyways. Yep. And then Nahan's like, I want to save you. I want to bring you with me. And I go, no, don't. I just wrote, just shoot him. He's dead. He's dying. And even the princess is like, no, man, he's dead. He's got the space cancer. His back's broken. He's I mean,
you think space herpes got weird. The space cancer.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
She's like,
maybe you've heard of a sarlacc.
And she's just like, yeah, just let him die, man. Just let him die. And they're like, yeah. Cut.
They walk off. It's a very nice shot of them walking off into the desert with the animals all kind of following behind them and running around them. I'm like, oh, that's cute. That doesn't belong in this movie. Why is this happening?
Because we need more characters.
Yes, we need animals.
As Bruce Vilanch comes up from another line, he's like, more characters, more. I feel like that's how we're going to get it. We need more characters. So many characters that people are going to fall in love with them all. They won't even know there's so many action
like
figures.
Snow White. He just comes out and does it, goes, ah, and all the animals start following him.
This must have been a thing. Like, they saw how the Star Wars toys, they started.
Jesus.
The Star Wars toys are so hot, they're making toys of people you don't even know. Like, they're making the Greedo toy, for God's sakes. The guy's in the movie for 10 seconds.
A guy named Walrus Man.
Yes, so they're like, we need to get as many characters as we can to get as many action figures
I've
as
got 3
possible.
separate Bib Fortunas.
So
my favorite
like,
Star Wars character.
Yeah.
One thing Ice Pirates won't do is run out of characters to make action figures of. There's going to be hundreds.
You think G.I. Joe had a long roster?
They're like, did you get Monk and Cage yet? The original Monk and Cage, not him as Monk.
NIB doing box.
Killjoy in monk outfit.
Did you get Max von Sydow Viking?
Oh, you got to mail away for that one.
Yeah.
That's the William Refrigerator Perry for the Ice Pirates figures.
I have Burnt Frog Lady.
Yeah, not only do you get Frog Lady, you get Burnt Frog Lady.
Everyone's got Burnt Frog Lady. The stores were packed with Burnt Frog Ladies.
Get rid of them.
You got also
You had to dig through them to get to...
You also have Frog Lady's friend who was sitting at the table just for 1 second,
It was a thoughtless Christmas that year.
They're like, did we give that guy that had to hear the N-word, did we give him a name? What are we going to put on the box for this one? Because this is really uncomfortable.
And man.
It's just a picture sitting there at a KB Toys. It's like, when are you getting the next case in? I understand each case has 2 spank bots.
And you as a little kid would just be waiting there going like, the new Ice Pirates are out, Mom. The new Ice Pirates. And she's like, that's great, Bobby. You don't need another Burnt Frog Lady.
I do, though. I lost it on the roof.
They're an army builder.
So we go back to the pirate ship. Well, I forgot to say that Nahan pretends to cry, and I go, why? Because we don't even know that you care about this guy. Like, just a minute ago, you're like, this is my friend. But before, you're like, oh, yeah, I know that guy. And now all of a sudden, he's like, oh, boy, this is really tough. Yeah, fuck it. Go to the ship. Then they're going to a secret planet now. And I write, great. And I said, I forgot that the old maid was here. So there's another action figure for you. And then this is when I just started breaking down, going, there's too many fucking people in this movie. I said, do you need both Sloth and Ron Perlman? Because maybe you could have just combined that into one character instead of having both of them.
Sloth Perlman?
That's his gang name.
Yes.
Just picturing Sloth played by Ron Perlman now.
This. Oh.
Hey, you motherfuckers.
This is what I got really mad at. I wrote they brought the fucking animals with them too.
Yeah.
Now the whole ship again, Chris. As we said in the beginning of the episode, water is the most precious resource. So let's bring a bunch of animals and new mouths to feed and drink. And
I think they have a flesh to water machine. I think that they're dropping animals in the processor and getting glasses of fresh water out of it.
I mean, they must, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense. And don't worry, we're gonna add more animals to it.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna add a lot more. Just keep adding on that ship. How many people you fit on a spaceship? Ice pirates will tell you. You know, fill it to the brim. It's like a fucking clown car before this thing ends.
Hey,
Do you think I think this movie is one big allegory for Noah's Ark.
I think so.
That's
I think
what
they're
it
trying
was.
to push religion on us.
Oh my God, Chris!
I think
because
they
at
are.
the end of the movie.
That's right.
Oh.
To be fair, Spaceball 1 had a zoo. There's a precedence for this stuff.
So that's when we get the dinner scene, and that's when I write my notes. Please, for fuck's sake, somebody get John hurted, please. But it doesn't happen. Nobody gets the chest burst. Nobody gets herpes through the
I feel
chest.
the space turkey did.
Yeah.
Well, yes, they do an homage to Alien, in that there is a chest burst out of a turkey, and it's herpes, so the turkey had herpes, I guess.
Herpes the turkey, they called him.
And they do
And
more
I
herpes
expected
jokes.
it to put on a top hat.
Oh,
When it came out of the turkey.
Yeah.
it was like, hello,
Its
my baby.
face,
Hello, my
it
honey.
has a face, which is disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a very cartoony face, so I would not be upset at a song coming from the space herpes.
What I wanted is, much like the chef chasing Sebastian in Little Mermaid, I wanted Rod Perlman's role in the rest of this movie is him chasing around the space herpes with like a pot.
Yes.
Just trying to hit it.
I had to cook it.
He's going to cook the space herpes. He's in like a chef's hat.
It's
He's
a
just chasing
delicacy.
around.
Bobby, I hate to tell you, not going to happen because there's only 20 minutes left in the movie, and they still haven't figured out what the movie's about.
Right.
And they're like, we don't have time for that.
Why can't it be about
But
that?
the herpes runs away, and they're like, it's in the ship now. And I'm like, okay, it's either going one of two ways. We're going to drop it like we do everything else in this movie, or we're going to turn this into Alien now, and that they're going to hunt that space herpes.
It'd be amazing if they just forgot everything else in this plot.
Yeah.
And the rest of it is just them hunting a space herpes.
Yeah, I mean, would you have been surprised if it just turned into Alien at the end
And
of
I
this?
hope that much like the original Alien, there's a scene where they corner it in a corridor and it just turns into jazz hands as a jump scare.
Like, they even got the cat and everything, man. It was all ready to go.
It's perfect.
But no, because then we go
And
to...
Perlman was in an Alien movie. It all comes together.
Oh, you're right. Then we go to... Smoke Machine Planet, as I write, a.k.a. the scene from Star Wars where they hide in that cave that's actually a monster. It's exactly the fucking same, like, down to the trees and everything in it, and the smoke and the
but
water.
did it have an army of Shiraz?
Yeah. So, there is an army of Shiraz.
You say that like it's not fucking awesome that an army of Shiraz showed up.
Well, they also...
We got Themyscirans riding on Pegasi.
Yeah, they're riding, like, unicorns, and one of them kills
Pegasi.
a robot. It stabs it with the horn.
And breaks its horn off, and there's like blood on the end.
You stick it in, you break it off. That's the Chicago way.
And I write, this is what I write, there's only 20 minutes left in this movie. Where are we going?
What is happening?
And then I just write, no. Because fucking Bruce Vilanch shows up
And you know-
in a goddamn fucking throne.
I was having a good time up to this point.
Yes,
And then
exactly.
goddamn Bruce Vilanch shows up.
He's sitting on a throne with a bunch of scantily clad women around him going like, I'm the king on this planet.
And I don't know who this guy is supposed to be or why they've gone to this planet.
I think it's just supposed to be Bruce Vilanch.
I think they're trying to do like a Wozniak, Gabe Newell thing.
Oh,
with
this is
them.
just Bruce Vilanch.
Yeah, I
like,
know.
this is just like his house.
Yeah.
You might as well have had somebody like a little Muppet alien be like, and now Bruce Vilanch. Then we
Yeah.
pan over and he does his tight five.
Because that's the rest of this movie is he takes it over. He fucking takes this movie and he's like, I'm going to get all the jokes. I'm going to get all the fun. You're going to carry my severed head around because apparently...
He's talking mad shit to our ice pirates. And so understandably so, he gets his head kicked off his shoulders. And I was hoping when that would happen that more small animals would spring out of him like Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah. So he's a robot then.
It turns out. Well, it's a Futurama head.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
can be put on a robot body whenever he wants.
Oh, you know he's putting himself on one of those She-Ra bodies.
Well, those aren't robots.
I think those are actual women.
I don't think that matters,
those are women.
Bobby.
Sure it does.
Well, actually, they might be robots because
They might be.
I don't
after
know.
they get the when Roscoe saves them, because he's the only one who's not captured. So Roscoe saves them, somehow knocks off Bruce Vilanch's head, even though we have no idea why this happens. They never explain why
No.
Bruce Vilanch is just a head. But they take his head hostage, and he says he has the princess's father, and he's in this room. And they go to this room, and there's a creepy guy who doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Who is her father, but it's not her father because it's a robot. So there are robots that can look like people. So maybe the Amazons,
the Omega robot.
the Omega
That's
robot.
the one.
This
the
is
life
what I'm
model
saying.
decoy.
Yes. You don't
I'm gonna
think
keep those Marvel references covered.
That he does Buffalo Bills
Oh God.
in a mirror. I can hear Goodbye Horses coming on. and him
I'd
just
fuck
going,
me.
Yeah. Oh,
God, Bruce Vilanch.
Bruce Vilanch punched up that script too. Jonathan, I'm really thinking I'd be great for that Bill character. What do you think? No, Bruce. No.
Put the lotion in the basket.
But why Bruce Vilanch has a robot of the the princess's father?
Makes no sense.
Why? Because Bruce Vilanch seems to not know that it's a robot, or it
looks like-
nothing makes sense from this point on.
It
Or
just looks
earlier,
like Yul
either.
Brynner from Westworld style robot.
I wish it was. That would be a great twist. Oh yeah. Yul Brynner from Westworld showed up. They just open a door and he turns.
I mean, it's basically what it is, but of her dad, and you're just
Season
like,
3 Westworld is Ice World, and it's just Ice Pirate World.
Please
Fuck
no.
yeah.
Oh man. Please yes.
Oh no, puppies, look. And so basically this all ends with they just carry around Bruce Vilanch's head because he was like, I don't even want to walk.
They do torture his head at one point, which is a fun little gag.
But
'Cause he's like,
typically
I don't have a
when-
body. What can you do to me? They pull out a feather.
Oh yeah, and then he gives them the information right away.
They sneeze torture him like they do at Gitmo.
Yeah.
Or in Little Red and the Monsters.
Yeah. Well, they did the right thing. They waterboard him, you know.
Well, they tickled. They did a lot of foot tickling in that one.
Oh, that's
Weird.
true. Yeah, foot tickling and waterboarding go hand in hand. So Princess meets her dad. It's not him. It's a robot.
Yeah.
That's it. That's when I write, this movie's really fucking going off the rails. Like, Bruce Vilanch had hit peak coke at this point, and he's rewriting this thing on the fly and writing him into scenes, and he's like, it's going to be great, guys. Like,
The film's pure insanity from this point on.
yeah, because we just go back on the ship, and now Bruce Vilanch is here, and I write, why? Then he gets sick of being a head at one point and gets put onto a robot body.
He's got some big beefy Warhammer body.
And I'm writing over and over in my notes, we don't need new characters. We don't need you.
We definitely don't need Hulkbuster Bruce Vilanch.
I feel like the director's like, we don't need you, Bruce. We don't need you in the movie. Please, go away.
Do you think? Okay, so when Bruce Vilanch's head gets put on the robot body, it's Bruce Vilanch's body, right? Bruce
Right.
Vilanch is a fat man, so it's a fat robot. Do you
Another
think
fat Ultron.
Do you think the fat Ultrons were made the size they were, so
Oh,
it looked
we
less
worked backwards.
jarring?
Yes.
When
Oh, yeah.
Bruce Vilanch was
There
think-
wouldn't suddenly be a fat robot. It's like
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger was originally supposed to be RoboCop,
Oh.
but they realized that upon putting all the suit on him, dude would be,
Gigantic.
dude would be a Hummer. He'd just be this massive thing.
He'd be as big as the first robot.
Yeah,
you know?
he'd look like Hulkbuster Iron Man walking around. You can't sympathize with that.
I just imagine all those shitty robots having the head of Bruce Vilanch, and it would just be a nightmare.
You'll dream about that tonight.
So then, this I just keep writing. Somebody get killed, please. Then her dad shows up as a hologram and goes, "Look, you're our only hope. You gotta go find this planet. You're our only hope." And then just kind of goes away. And they're like, "But it didn't come out of a robot, so we didn't copy. Has nothing to do with Star Wars. Holograms existed before and after that movie."
As he
So-
disappears, he's actually going.
yeah.
"Bah, bah, bah,
But they did
bah."
shitty. Yeah, they did shitty tracking because the hologram does not match the hand movement when they do it. So obviously, no
Yeah.
effort put in there. So
Also,
no surprise.
nonsensically, the hologram comes from taking one ring and spinning another ring on it.
Yeah.
And they get the ring out of Bruce Vilanch's mouth.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because he
fuck is happening?
insisted on that.
He wrote that. in.
Yeah, he wants Robert Urich's fingers in his mouth.
Yeah, can you touch me in my mouth? Robert, rip it. And so then, all right, something about people being suspended in time. I'm losing it. I'm really
Well,
Well,
Plot
we're
device we
going
do
through
not
a
need.
we're going through a warp that's going to age everybody prematurely.
Yeah.
The way time is being tampered with, and they show that throughout the rest of this movie by hitting fast forward periodically. Just little spurts.
They even realize there's only 20 minutes left in the movie. At this point, there's like 15 minutes left. And they're like,
Also, I don't want to pass the part where it is implied that Percy the robot got down and dirty.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
when,
Like
Well, we're
Percy
going
became
through it.
Percy the pleasure bot. I don't want to.
so Percy fucked the princess.
He definitely did.
Right?
Yeah.
It is heavily implied.
Because he goes to the princess's door.
Is digital manipulation fucking?
I think that's an argument you need to have with your
Tanner,
wife.
even as
just
a
saying.
5-year-old,
Just saying.
you pulled the shirt of your dad.
Like you set boundaries.
Daddy, did
Is there going to be a baby robot now?
Isn't that how it works?
See, Tanner, they're gonna make a new baby robot. Life begins a new bot.
Oh, okay. This would have made total sense. Because what happens is he goes in there and he catches them. Apparently, the princess and the robot had sex, right?
Yeah, they were just finishing whatever they were doing, and Percy walks out with like a towel over his shoulder.
But as time
he's fixing his bow tie.
as time moves forward,
Yeah.
right? Well, we'll get back to the scene that happens after Percy leaves. But as time moves forward, she's pregnant.
Yeah.
They should have it revealed that it was the baby robot. Like, how fucking great was that? Instead of his kid, it's like, oh my god, it's baby Percy.
Baby in diapers. It's a robot in diapers.
In a little bow tie.
Yes.
No, but instead what happens is the most annoying scene possible to me is that it's not earned, but not Han and the princess. Now she's like, well, I did it once. I'm ready to go.
So she sets the holodeck on Passionate Storb.
Yeah, which now I'm really fucking pissed because they have a sex scene and you get the old joke where he's like, can you take off my belt? She goes, it's really stiff. The belt.
Yeah.
Zing.
Yep.
It starts raining on them.
What's Passionate Storm?
And I write, water is the most precious resource in the fucking galaxy. And they're having it, like, they've programmed something where you have sex while it rains on you. I'm like, okay, we are not being responsible. Like, look, I know the rich get whatever they want, all right? Those 1%ers, they're really...
I mean,
She's
the
a
rich,
princess.
they're drinking that raw water shit.
yes.
Imagine you're in a country that needs to get food dropped on them from
Yes.
the air.
Yeah.
You and your partner have torn open one of those packs and are just bathing in it while you bone.
This is this is like if you were to drop
People
aid
are dying.
to people in the Congo that have been starving for weeks, and when you go to drop it, Bruce Vilanch just sitting on top of that box eating everything.
Yeah.
You haven't finished like powdered mac and cheese. You aren't living.
Yeah, Vilanch is just opening the boxes of bread and just like kind of going, I just like the cheese powder, and just throwing out the
Rolling around in it.
He's making an angel.
yeah. If you're just fucking in humanitarian aid.
Pouring it on each other.
Blocks and blocks of Velveeta just roll.
It's called fetishes, everybody.
That's right.
Oh, so then I write.
That scene with the torrid lovemaking does do, and I think they do this on purpose because Jason switches shirts from his red pirate shirt to a white pirate shirt. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to look like a Harlequin romance novel cover
Oh, definitely.
because it is framed perfectly.
Oh, yeah,
No question.
So then what happens is that there's an alarm on the ship. They're being attacked by the bad guy ship. I write, who are the bad guys? Oh, yeah, Douche Prince. He hasn't been here for about an hour. He's back. Big, long fight scene with shitty robots is what I write. Vilanch shows up as a robot now with a robot body. I write, fuck this. I write, there's 6 minutes left in this movie, but Bruce had to get himself as a fucking robot. Then time moves all fast. Everybody gets like super old. And
It's
they're
kind
like,
of funny.
I do like this
yeah,
bit.
the princess is pregnant. Oh my god, she had a kid, and then they're all old.
She's
And
got a little toddler, and then Nanny, don't disturb Nanny, she's getting very old. And they turn to go, Nanny, and it's a skeleton.
yeah,
That was perfect.
And then the payoff for the space herpes plot is it just cuts to Percy having stepped on the space herpes and killed it. And someone saying, good job, Percy. The payoff for that entire space herpes plot
Yeah.
is done in that 5-second shot. Why the fuck did they waste our time with that?
I don't know. They should have had Vilanch eat it.
Yes.
Like he should have been roasting it over a spit, on a fire. Anybody want some herpes? There's your
it's
one
not
liner.
the first one I've had, sweetie.
This gift really does keep giving.
And so then everybody's getting all old, and
Some
like
of
the
them,
kid
like
gets
Ron
old.
dies of old age.
Yeah. At one point he just goes, "I'm too old for this shit."
And he drops.
Ugh.
But the ones who are still going have the biggest like white beards.
Roscoe has the floppy white afro
It's
and big
amazing.
bushy beard.
And
he
then
looks like a character from a Chappelle skit.
the kid shows up and he's just not Han.
Yeah,
It's just
the
Robert
same.
Ulrich.
Robert Ulrich playing his own son swoops in and saves everybody.
And I rate.
Supreme Commander, by the way, when he shows up under the old age, looks like Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China.
There's a really weird part where the princess, now very old, enters the scene and her hair is super long and it gets caught on a prop. And she has to like kind of pull it free, like in the scene without breaking.
And they're like, we're not cutting. Keep
yeah,
going.
It's like, she's a professional. She's a professional.
Then basically what happens is that they're like, oh, we passed through the time warp. We're all okay. Oh, look, there's a water planet. The seventh planet or whatever it's called. The seventh planet.
Man, it wraps up in a nice bow real fast.
Yeah.
And they just call a space mulligan on everything that just happened.
They go, it's Earth.
Characters that died are now alive again.
Yeah.
And the Templars
princess never
magically disappeared.
The Templars are gone. Princess never got pregnant.
No, I'm pretty sure she got pregnant.
And then, that happened before, Bobby.
Yeah,
She
that's
did
true.
get pregnant.
That's true.
And then just to fuck over the grind bin, before the credits roll, we smash cut to Bruce Vilanch's asshole.
And he just laughs at us. Yeah. Damn it, Bruce.
You got us again. And then it literally just ends. They were just like, we ran out of time and effort. So we ran out of Coke, really.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, Bruce, we need that script. And he's like, fuck, why? They're like, we're filming tomorrow?
Bruce finally passed out. And they're like, roll credits. We got it.
Yeah.
We're good. Check Bruce, check the gate. We're good.
Yeah, on his sets, it's not even check the gate. It's just check Bruce.
Check Bruce. All right, we're moving on.
Check the Bruce.
That's a wrap on Bruce Vilanch, everybody. Thank you
He's
very
like,
much.
we ran out of film, Bruce. You can pull your pants up, Bruce. We're out. We're out.
Ribbit.
Ribbit, Robert. So recommendations?
Yes. I'm going to say yes. This movie's batshit. It needs to be seen. It's like Star Crash, but worse.
Yeah, it's for me it was more tolerable than Star Crash. Definitely. Yeah. So I'd say it's a morbid curiosity.
But it didn't have Stella Star. You know.
Well, do we need? Yeah, check it out.
Tanner?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a strong recommend. I mean,
there is robot murder.
Fun, but it's so weird and very frustrating. But it's easy watch.
Oh, definitely. Easy to digest.
Yeah, I just say no.
You say no?
Yeah.
Because it's just, it's fine. I mean, it's nothing that I'd watch again.
Nothing you'd rush out to Blu-ray for.
No.
Okay.
I'm not Bobby. I didn't
Okay.
order the $30 Blu-ray. He got the special edition that comes with the car and everything,
How else was I going to get Max von Sydow? Had to complete the set.
Yeah, he's on the box
He
art.
comes with the car. It's the only way you can get him.
No, I mean, it's fine. If you this sounds interesting to you, watch it. But it's just a Star Wars ripoff that somehow went in the theaters as opposed to just on VHS.
I have a theory. I think that this maybe started life as a TV series. The entire cast are TV actors.
You're right.
There is not a movie actor in the movie, except for Robert Carradine, who's an old.
But that works for a quick cameo.
Yeah.
You could do that.
And the costumes, the setup, and why it's so disjointed as a full narrative. I think it started life as a TV show that they were like, oh no, let's do a movie instead.
You think they took several episodes and just tried to weave it all together into a
I think
feature?
there was probably an overall idea. Like, it's the search for the way Battlestar Galactica, where they were always like, we're searching for Earth. That was kind of the overall idea while these little episodes happen. So this was like, they're searching for the seventh planet, which is also Earth. Yeah. This is our sci-fi series that we're going to go for to get that kind of Star Wars money before it dried up. And then it's like, oh no, we'll do a movie instead.
That said, do you feel it would work better that way? Like if Netflix announced, season 1 of Ice Pirates is coming.
No.
We're going to slow it down.
It's going to depend on the cast.
Mike's turning
How
off.
long? I mean, how long could someone live without water? That's my question. The show ends in 3 days. Come on.
It doesn't.
How long would it take before they realize that the shower has it? Like the ship's got a water supply.
The thing with this movie is like
We're drinking bath water all day.
The first 20 minutes, I'm having fun. I'm like, okay, it's good. I like the rice cooker robot. I like the alien taking a shit. I thought I got a laugh out of that when they broke in. I wasn't expecting it because you don't know if it's a comedy yet or not at that point. You're like, oh, okay, it's funny. I liked Killjoy. He's cool. But then it just they can't figure out if it's a movie.
And it keeps going.
There's so much coke involved. There's subplots that are just introduced and dropped, and then
Bruce Vilanch.
It was Bruce Vilanch. That's what did it to me. I said, fuck this movie. With 20 minutes left, I was like, I don't need this in my life. Nobody has ever asked for you to be in a movie, Bruce. Nobody. Like, there's not one audience that's clamoring for more Vilanch. So
Not even Mrs. Vilanch.
no.
His mother.
Yeah.
The fun part, I think you could, if I wanted to show someone this, I would skip big parts and just be like, oh, they're going here now. And I bet you there's a good 40-minute version of this that's all fun.
And they'd be like, well, what happened at the end, Tanner? You go, oh, they found Earth.
They found her. I wouldn't show them the baby robot death. I would just skip that part.
No one needs that.
No one needs that.
That's the
Look what it
biggest.
did to you,
that in
you
their
poor
hearts.
man.
That actually is the biggest laugh I got out of the whole movie. That was so funny to me
You're
when
sick,
they just
Mike.
randomly ran over a robot family.
And made it really dark.
It wasn't dark, though. It was just...
To you, maybe.
Because it's weird. I think this kind of comes up in any sci-fi where you establish robots that seem like they're at least semi-sentient, but then everyone still treats them as machinery.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a robot that shits itself in fear in this movie. And then we have, like, our hero push a robot off a ledge as a warning to the other robots to behave. Like, it's like, I get Westworld. I get it.
Yeah, you're completely on the side of Dolores.
Dolores, man.
Yeah.
So, guys, you hear that sound?
Mm-hmm. It's my Uber arriving. Thank you, everybody,
Oh,
for a
Bobby
lovely
put
evening.
his hand up. Bobby,
I think I know already.
You're first. How
I think
do you
I've
think?
got it. It's very simple, you see. When Percy was leaving the room with the towel over his shoulder after a job well done, if you listen closely, you can hear him humming, and then he gets into the other room and he pulls off his helmet.
Oh, no.
And not unlike Killjoy, we've had other characters hiding as robots this whole time.
Okay.
And I think another fat Ultron that was just a little shorter than the rest of them rolls in and says, Bobby, I got the ice. And they take off in the escape pod.
Okay, I think they find the seventh planet, right? And they go, there's a strange transmission coming from the planet. And you just hear... and they're like, what is this weird space music? And they land on the planet. And they find this yellow van, right? And in the back, they open it up, and everything's gone on this whole planet. And they open it up, and they touch this wobbly bed. And then all of a sudden, it opens up, and a ginger alien sucker just goes onto one of their face, Bruce Vilanch's face.
It's the newest strain of space herpes.
Yeah, and then Bobby comes out of Bruce Vilanch's chest and kills everybody on the ship.
Fantastic.
That's similar to mine. I think earlier on the ship when they were going through the manifest, I think part of they were hauling some cargo was a straight arrow. They're giving it a lift. And part of where the space herpes came from, it kind of rolled around out of the straight arrow and onto the ship and kind of rolled its way to the main ship deck. And the whole movie, Bobby's looking for it because it contains DNA of his former lover, and he wants to clone her, so he's looking for it.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. That's a good point, though, that in this established universe, the straight arrow would be very valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People would be trying to
it's a
get
water.
that straight arrow. It's one of the last supplies of water in the universe.
You're telling me maybe at one point they're in that space cantina, and DeVito goes like, "My friend doesn't like you."
I don't like you either. Bobby gets his arm taken off.
All right, so mine is there's a cutscene after Roscoe and Jason get captured and turned into slaves. They ask me, why do they castrate slaves? One of the other says, well, we had a problem once with a newly captured convict. We didn't castrate him, and he just caused a lot of problems everywhere. It's like, oh, okay, but why do we wear these white wigs? It's like, well, that slave was known for his orange poof of hair. And he left so many people traumatized that we make all the slaves wear white wigs to cover it up.
I love it. So thank you guys for joining us on another episode of the Grindbin. Tanner,
Do I have something to plug?
do you have something to plug?
Well, depending on when this episode airs, I'll be in Spokane, Washington, June 2nd and 3rd for Lilac City Comic Con.
How'd that con go?
Oh, it went great. I sold so much things, I made money.
Yeah.
I sold all the things.
All those Grindbin listeners, all those listeners.
All those Grindbin listeners who got $1 off by coming up and saying, I listened to the Grindbin. I was like, $1 off.
They're like, I'm really looking forward to that Ice Pirates episode coming out in about a week or two.
That's
after
nice.
that
Oh,
con.
all right. Well, good to know. Well, then I will also be at San Diego Comic Con, just walking around.
You're going to have your own makeshift booth.
I might have a panel or two, which...
Hanging off your
great.
car.
Yeah.
Tanner, I got
Might
an
have a
idea for
pedal
a
van.
cosplay.
Oh, tell me your ideas.
You
for
should
cosplay.
just cosplay as your own booth.
That's great.
Like you show up in a costume as a booth, and you'd be like, "No, it's my costume."
I really like that.
Here, I'll pose for a photo and you sit down.
I actually might steal that.
8 hours.
Yeah, you just carry a chair with you and everything.
Like a cigarette girl kind of like thing strapped to me.
I think it'll work.
Damn, I like that.
I actually had a WWBD.
Oh my
real
God!
quick. So
Bronson in
when
space?
our man decides
Dangerous.
to goes to the chamber when she's in a cryo sleep and starts reaching forward and like and you hear a gun cock and go, not so fast.
Oh, man. Flash Bronson.
Oh, you mean at some point you think that Space Douche goes, well, we called in the best guy, and he goes, I heard there was a space rape.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll solve it.
Oh, it's a hell
What
of
did
a
they
stinger.
look like?
Oh no, don't worry, I know what he looked like.
An APB ad on a space Mexican.
And they're like, no, we keep telling you it was not Han. It's not the other guy. It's just there's no convincing him.
There's a guy I know on another planet called Moist Isley. He knows what to do.
But you said it was not Han. I mean, which Han is it?
Han, do you mean Chinese Han?
Yeah, I mean, where are we going with this?
I mean,
gotta be
Han,
something.
Right? Wink, wink.
Bobby, give me that guy's hand.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the tea. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
What is setting knockers? I don't know. Spooky got no real rhythm. We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
Oh, the hell with women's live. I'm horny. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamed.